Chapter 203. It's two different things. If his superior went to the clinic and did not go through my uncle, I would see him. Once this matter involved relatives, it was easy to have some unclear things that could not be explained clearly. It's not easy for your uncle to survive until now, Zhang Xiuying said. After all, he was her brother. She still cared about him very much. I know that, but we have to talk about it as it is. I hope he won't be like my third uncle and bring people from his unit here. If he brings people here, just say I'm not at home. After breakfast, Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill. Those unpleasant things just now were blown away by the mountain wind and disappeared into the sky. He drank a cup of tea and looked up at the sky. Fame and fortune, power, money, beauty. It was a complicated temptation. These things had nothing to do with him. That night, the waning moon was like a hook. The next day, the sky was gloomy and it was drizzling. Wang Yao sat in front of the window and looked at the drizzle outside. It could be said that he was in a daze or enjoying the rain. In the drizzle, two people hurried up Nanshan Hill. Zhou Xiong was very anxious because early in the morning, he found that his son's face was a little pale. It seemed that he was in pain. He hurriedly asked him why. This time, he found that his son's left arm was swollen. If it was a dead branch before, then it was a rotten wood soaked in water. It was very swollen. So, he hurried up and did not even have time to call Wang Yao. San Xian barked outside the house. Someone's here. Who could it be at this time? While Wang Yao was still wondering, Zhou Xiong had already rushed into the herbal field with his son. Brother Zhou, Kong? Dr. Wang, take a look. What's wrong with Kong? As he spoke, he carefully rolled up Kang's sleeve. Huh! As soon as he saw the arm, Wang Yao hurried up with a dignified face. He reached out to check the pulse. How could this be? Part of his meridians had been cleared, which was a good thing, but it was only a small part. However, the medicine had another effect that he could not imagine. The deposits in his meridians were not completely dissolved, but instead, they changed their positions and accumulated at the ends of his meridians. This resulted in embolism in some parts of his meridians. Some of the thin blood vessels in his arm had reached their limits and could rupture at any time. The effect of the medicine was strong enough. The massage was a little rushed. The situation was urgent. Wang Yao calmed down and carefully looked at Zhou Wukong's arm. Suddenly, a light appeared in his mind. I have a way, but it will be more painful and dangerous, Wang Yao said. I can endure pain, Zhou Wukong said sensibly. We are willing to take the risk. All right. Wang Yao brought a basin and a thin knife. His method was to let out blood. He would cut open some small veins to release the accumulated blood. Of course, the position was very important. The blade was very fast. With a gentle cut, blood oozed out. It was dark and looked a little sticky. The flow was very poor. This was because the harmful substances had been deposited in his left arm for too long. The blood gradually flowed out and the speed was increasing. Hold it, Wang Yao said. Zhou Xiong hurriedly held his son's arm to help him stop the bleeding. Wang Yao took out some golden sore medicine that he had made when he was learning to make medicinal pills. He crushed it and sprinkled it on the wound. Then, the blade flashed and another wound was cut. In this way, 3 cuts, 3 wounds and a bowl of sticky blood. Zhou Wukong's arm obviously disappeared. His face became very pale, which was a symptom of excessive blood loss. Help him to lie on the bed first. Wang Yao took out a few bags of milk from the inner room. Boil it and give him some. Then, he quickly prepared some tonic. Sealwort, ginseng, licorice, guyuan. He set up the multifunctional pot for herbs and boiled a tonic soup for Zhou Wukong's body. It was still raining outside. The room was filled with the fragrance of herbs. Zhou Wukong, who was lying on the bed, fell asleep. He didn't sleep well last night, right? Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't think it through, Wang Yao said. It's not your fault. There are risks in treating patients, Zhou Xiong hurriedly said. After the medicine was ready, Wang Yao put it aside. He came to the bedside and gently checked Zhou Wukong's pulse. It was stable. Let him sleep for a while. When he wakes up, drink this bowl of soup. Okay. The two of them sat down. Wang Yao made a cup of tea for Zhou Xiong. Thank you. How's Mr. Zhou's illness? It's stable. He woke up, but he can't get out of bed, Zhou Xiong said. His family wanted to invite Dr. Wang to have a look at his illness. Have the broken bones healed? Yes. We invited an expert from Miaojiang to come here, Zhou Xiong said. That's good. Most of the toxins in Zhou Wui's body had been removed by the decoction decocted with detoxification grass. His injured organs had also recovered by the regathered decoction. The only problems left were the broken bones and the disordered meridians. Wang Yao didn't have a good solution for these two problems. He didn't expect the Zhou family to invite someone to solve one of them. In this way, the main problem was the disordered meridians in the body. I still have to thank Dr. Wang. Without you, my uncle's life would have been lost. He's lucky. Wang Yao and Zhou Xiong chatted. It was raining outside. Zhou Wukong was sleeping soundly on the bed. After an hour, Wang Yao came to the bedside and checked Zhou Wukong's pulse. He carefully looked at Zhou Wukong's left arm. The swelling had subsided. The blood vessels on Zhou Wukong's skinny arm were prominent. There's no problem. Phew, that's good. Zhou Xiong was relieved. At this time, Zhou Wukong also woke up. Dad, Uncle. You're awake. How do you feel? Wang Yao asked with a smile. Much better. I'm sorry, Uncle. I fell asleep here. It's okay. Sleep a little longer. No need. This child was only in his teens, but he was very sensible. Come on, drink this medicine while it's still hot. Wang Yao brought the decoction that had just been decocted. Zhou Wukong drank it while it was still hot. He then lay down to rest for a while. Dad, let's go. Okay, Dr. Wang. Sorry to disturb you. It's my pleasure. If you have any more questions, just give me a call. Okay. Zhou Xiong took his son down the mountain. It was still raining outside. The mountain road was a little muddy. Zhou Xiong wanted to carry his son, but Zhou Wukong insisted on walking by himself. Dad, I feel much better after sleeping. I can walk by myself. Be good. Dad will carry you. You lost a lot of blood just now. Your body is very weak. After watching the father and son walk away, Wang Yao returned to the room and recorded the treatment process. This was also an accident that was remedied in time. This incident made him realize that even with the prescription provided by the system, even if the decoction was decocted with various licorice roots, it could still cause side effects. Although this was likely an exception and an accident, it was worth vigilant and thinking about. Some things would happen a second time after the first time. Pitter-patter. The raindrops hit the glass and then flowed down. What went wrong? Was it the decoction, the dosage, or the treatment process? Wang Yao was thinking. Wait a minute. With a thought, he directly took out the blood deblicking powder from the storage space. Then, he poured a small cup. Looking at the purple-red decoction, he drank it in one breath. The decoction was slightly bitter and had a special spicy feeling. After entering the stomach, he felt a little hot. Then, the heat quickly spread to all parts of the body. This decoction was very strong. This was Wang Yao's feeling. Perhaps it was this strong force that could effectively open the blocked meridians. However, for patients who had been blocked for a long time and whose meridians were more fragile, such a strong force was a double-edged sword. If the meridians were opened, everyone would be happy. If not, it might affect the already fragile meridians. Therefore, there was another kind of decoction in the decoction that could effectively strengthen the meridians. After this decoction was taken, about 40 minutes later, the efficacy of the decoction reached a peak. Then, it began to weaken slowly. However, the weakening was not big. It was still continuing to exert its strength. According to the efficacy of the decoction, it is indeed possible for that to happen. This decoction needs to be diluted when I give it to Kong. At noon, the rain outside still showed no signs of stopping. In fact, it became heavier. It changed from light rain to moderate rain. Wang Yao called Li Maoshuang and asked him to help prepare some ingredient. Those were the special herbs needed to decoct the muscle revitalization powder. You need herbs again? Why did you stay on the hill all day? Li Maoshuang asked with a smile on the other end of the phone. Yes, on Nanshan Hill. Are you going to learn from Tao Yuanming and become a real hermit? I'm used to it. Haha, I'm kidding. I'll send the things you want to you as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. It's just a small matter. You don't have to thank me. In Hike, a plane landed in the rain. Phew, it's here again. Chen Buiyuan sighed after getting off the plane. This time, he specially came to invite Wang Yao. I'll go and find him directly. No, I'd better give him a call first. After several contacts, he had a certain understanding of Wang Yao's temperament. He was a different young man. He did not seek fame, profit, or power. He was really like a modern hermit. Is it a Beijing number again? Wang Yao looked at the unfamiliar number displayed on the phone. He hesitated for a while but still picked up the phone. Hello, Dr. Wang. I'm Chen Buiyuan. Chen Buiyuan. Wang Yao remembered this name. He was a member of the Su family. In order to invite him to Beijing, the Su family had used a lot of methods. When they couldn't persuade him, they tried to persuade his parents and sister. It seemed that they even invited a deputy mayor to be their guarantor. It took a lot of effort. Chapter 204. Hello. Dr. Wang, are you at home? Is it convenient for you to see a guest? It's not convenient today, Wang Yao replied. Then when is it convenient? Let's wait and see, Wang Yao said. Can you be in Hike? Yes, I just got off the plane. I'll let you know when I have time. Okay. Chen Buiyuan seemed to have expected such a reply, so he didn't seem too disappointed. Instead, he took his luggage and found a place to stay in Hike. In a shop in Lianshan County, cough, cough, cough. A man was lying on top of the toilet bowl. A pool of blood came out of his mouth and fell into the bowl. It was very sticky. His face was very pale. Bean-sized beads of sweat were rolling down his cheeks. His whole body was bent. Obviously, he was enduring great pain. What? He gritted his teeth and clenched his fist. His body was trembling as he endured the pain. Damn, why is it so painful this time? This person was Wei Hai. After continuously taking the deworming powder prepared by Wang Yao, he used a special method to detoxify his body. It was very painful. However, with the previous treatment experience, he thought that this kind of pain was only temporary. In the long run, it would still be beneficial to his body. He did not expect to take the deworming powder again this afternoon. However, the pain was so severe that he rolled on the bed and almost fainted. His body was a little weak. No, I can't force myself. He felt that something was wrong. He didn't dare to force himself to continue, so he called Wang Yao. Wei Hai. As soon as he saw the phone number, Wang Yao felt that something had happened. Hello, Brother Wei? Dr. Wang, it's very painful here. Something is wrong. Wei Hai was in so much pain that he couldn't speak properly. Where are you? Wang Yao hurriedly asked. In the tea shop. Wait there. I'll go there immediately. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao took an umbrella and went out of the cottage. He went into the rain and went down the mountain. San Xian watched the door. Woof woof woof. On the road, Wang Yao drove very fast. It was related to the patient's life and death. He did not dare to delay or hesitate. Fortunately, there were not many cars on the road on this rainy day. This was the first time he drove fast. 20 minutes later, he arrived at the town center of Lianshan County. He parked his car outside Wei Hai's tea shop. As usual, There was a closed sign hanging on the door. He bought this tea shop because he wanted to have a place to stay in Lianshan County. It would be convenient for him to see a doctor. When his condition got better, it would become his residence. As for the tea business, he didn't have the leisure to do so. However, drinking tea was fine. He did get a lot of high-quality tea these days. When Wang Yao pushed the door open, Wei Hai was lying on the recliner. His face was pale and his breathing was weak. He looked like a drowning man who had just been rescued. He didn't say much and hurriedly went to his side to check his pulse. His internal organs were damaged, especially his liver. How could this be? How much decoction did you drink? 1 cup, 3 times a day, as you said, Wei Hai said weakly. Was the dosage wrong? Too much was as bad as not enough? Or should he wait and see? His fingers on Wang Yao's wrist had not left. After thinking for a long time, Wang Yao made a decision. Reduce the dosage by half and double the interval time. It was better to take the safe route. The latter was too risky. The patient's health was more important. Okay. Wait for a moment. Wang Yao went out and came back with a few things in a short time. A casserole pot and a bag of herbs. He bought the casserole pot from outside. As for the herbs, they were in the compartment. However, he couldn't magically take out the herbs in front of Wei Hai. It would only make him think that he was seriously ill and had hallucinations. Is there natural gas? Yes, in the kitchen behind. You lie down. I'll go by myself. After a while, Wei Hai smelled the unique smell of herbs. Natural gas, the effect is much worse. Tap water is not ideal. Casserole pot, in short, all of these things were not suitable for decoction in Wang Yao's opinion. If he was not in a hurry, Wang Yao would never use these things to decoction. Sealwort, licorice, wolfberry, glossy ganoderma. The decoction Wang Yao prepared to decoction could also strengthen the body's function, but there was no licorice root. The water was boiling. All kinds of herbs had been added in order. Although the conditions here could not be compared with the conditions on Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao was very serious and careful in the process of decoction. The order of adding the herbs was also according to the order of how easy it was to dissolve. It's done. When Wang Yao came out of the kitchen with the decoction, it was already dark outside. Drink it while it's hot. Okay. Wei Hai supported himself and drank the decoction made by Wang Yao. Phew, I feel much better, he said with a sigh of relief. I thought I was going to die just now. The effect of the decoction is a little strong. Didn't you feel any different when you took it several times before? Wang Yao asked. If this was the first time this happened in the afternoon, he had to carefully consider the reason. The strong effect of the decoction was only one of the reasons. No, it was more painful in the beginning, but I endured it, Wei Hai said. Are there any other reactions other than pain? Wang Yao confirmed his previous judgment after listening to the doctor. The vomiting and bleeding were worse than the last time when I received treatment. Wei Hai thought carefully and said, Okay, the reason is basically confirmed. The decoction is too strong. Take the decoction according to the method I said. If you still feel strong discomfort, continue to reduce the decoction by half, Wang Yao said. Okay. I have a prescription here. Take the herbs according to the prescription and decoction. It can speed up the recovery of the vitality in your body. Don't tell this prescription to others. Wang Yao wrote down the prescription he had just decocted and put it on the table. The herbs have to be good. I suggest you buy herbs from Li Maoshuang. The people he knew also communicated with each other on a daily basis. They all knew each other and were friends. If they had any problems, they would let each other know and help each other. Okay. What about the decoction? Do I decoct myself? You can decoct yourself or go to the clinic to find someone to decoct it. At the beginning, you can also find someone to help you in the clinic. I suggest you learn it yourself. This skill can be useful to you, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay. Lie down and have a rest. You don't look very good. Wei Hai lay on the recliner with a thin layer of blanket covering his body. Maybe it was because of the decoction, his face had recovered some color. Ah, it's so tiring to live. He sighed without any reason. Why do you suddenly have such a feeling? Wang Yao said with a smile. Ah, there is good tea over there. You can make it yourself. Wei Hai pointed to the tea table next to him. Yellow Mountain Maofeng, Biluakun, Dongting Oolong, Wui Rock tea, okay. Wang Yao casually chose a tea, made a cup, and sat down. When I was young, my family was not well. I was poor. At that time, I worked hard just to earn more money and live a good life. Later, my business grew bigger and bigger, and I earned more and more money. I met more and more friends in the business world. Fish, meat, all kinds of delicacies, and all kinds of good wine. It was a life of luxury. However, I got this disease, and my body became worse and worse. Before I came to you for treatment, I thought that it was fine as long as I could live, even if I had to eat rice and vegetables. What's the point of having hundreds of millions of wealth if I don't live? Wang Yao held the teacup and listened to Wei Hai talk about his life. Now look at me. I'm only in my 40s. How many ups and downs have I experienced? Yes, life is full of twists and turns. I'm more and more envious of you now. Me? Yes, on the remote mountain there are green trees and red flowers. There are no sad things. I live like a hermit, Wei Hai said. When you get better, can you also live like that? Wang Yao asked. Chapter 205. You don't say. I've really thought about it these days. When I get better, I'm going to buy a mountain, build a few houses, plant some trees, plant all kinds of vegetables and fruits, and raise some chickens, ducks, sheep, and so on. It's completely back to nature, Wei Hai said. Are you going back to nature, or are you going to start a farm? Wang Yao asked with a smile. You're right. If I do too much, it will lose its meaning. Hey, speaking of which, I haven't been to your mountain. Can I go and have a look when I'm free? Wei Hai asked. He had only heard Wang Mingbao mention that Wang Yao had bought a mountain in the mountain village called Nanshan. There was a small house on the mountain with a lot of trees and herbs. He lived a hermit life like Tao Yuanming. As long as I'm on the mountain, you're welcome to come at any time. As the two were talking, the door opened. Wang Mingbao came in from outside. Why are you here? He saw Wang Yao's car in the shop, so he came over. I was in so much pain that I wanted to die, so I called him, Wei Hai said. The service attitude is pretty good. He's on call, Wang Mingbao said with a smile. If you want to drink tea, make it yourself. You know the place. Okay, you can lie down. Wang Mingbao made himself a cup of tea and pulled a chair to sit down. Why do I feel like you're gloating? Wei Hai looked at him and asked. No, you misunderstood. It's a look of sympathy and concern. Mingbao, if you're not busy in the shop, come and see him often. Anyway, he has a lot of tea here. Wang Yao said. Just like the situation just now, it was actually very dangerous. If he didn't call Wang Yao in time, he might have fainted because of the severe pain. He was alone in the shop. If he really fainted, the consequences would be serious. Okay. Is there any problem with your safety? Wang Yao asked again. Just like Wei Hai's current situation, he was absolutely powerless. It might be an exaggeration to say that he was an elementary school student, but even a junior high school student could probably provoke and bully him. No problem. The Public Security Bureau is about 500 meters away from the right. As long as you're not blind or mentally ill, you won't look for trouble here, Wang Mingbao said. It was still raining outside. The three men were drinking tea and chatting in this tea shop. Time slowly flowed away with the rain, and the sky outside darkened. After drinking the medicine, Wei Hai felt much better. All right, have a good rest. I should go back. Wang Yao got up and was about to leave. Hey, don't be in such a hurry to leave. Let's eat before you leave. I have to order takeout too. What takeout? There's a restaurant next door that sells fresh vegetables. The dishes are fresh, the list is on, and the taste is not bad. Shall we try it together? Okay, let's go and try it, Wang Yao replied. Wei Hai found a slightly thicker coat and put it on. As soon as he pushed the door open, a gust of wind and rain came in. Wei Hai shivered. The health restaurant was only 20 to 30 meters away from his tea shop. He walked very slowly. The restaurant was relatively large, and the shop was very clean. Perhaps because it was still early, there were not many people coming to eat. It was considered good that this kind of restaurant could continue to operate in a place like Lianshan County. The three of them did not choose a private room. Instead, they chose a seat by the window and sat down. They then ordered a few dishes and a soup. You don't order takeout or eat out every day in that tea shop, do you? How can I? Sometimes I cook noodles and cook porridge for myself, Wei Hai said. I found that sometimes cooking is actually a kind of enjoyment, especially cooking what I like to eat. Oh, you're almost a philosopher with this illness, Wang Mingbao said with a smile. In the past, I was too impetuous and did not realize the beauty of life. This illness has made me calm down and found some fun that I didn't notice before. This is a good thing. While the three of them were chatting, the dishes were served one after another. They were all seasonal vegetables that looked very fresh. There was a combination of meat and vegetables. There were more vegetables than meat. The soup was Sephora flour fish soup, which looked very tempting. It looks good, Wang Yao said. It's okay. This was Wei Hai's evaluation. This evaluation was actually quite high. After all, he had eaten all kinds of delicacies from all over the world. The places where he ate and stayed were all 5-star hotels. Want to drink? I'm driving. I don't drink. He can't drink either. You drink by yourself. It's boring to drink alone. I won't drink either. When it was time to eat, more people came to the restaurant. Don't go back tonight. Stay here for a night. We'll have some fun, Wang Mingbao said as he picked up the dishes. No, I'm afraid I can't sleep in another place, Wang Yao said with a smile. In his opinion, the night on Nanshan Hill was the best. Come on, let's drink. There were 4 men at the table next to them. They seemed to be drinking to their heart's content. The wine glasses were clinking with each other. Come on, let's drink too. Wei Hai picked up the glass of water on the table weakly. It was plain water inside. Cheers. Ding-ling, the door of the restaurant opened again. 2 girls came in. They were very young, in their 20s. One of them was rather plump, while the other girl was very good-looking. She was 1.6 meters tall, with fair and tender skin, delicate facial features, and gentle eyes. She gave off a gentle and quiet feeling, which was very comfortable to look at. Huh! Wang Mingbao's eyes lit up. Then, he kept staring at the girl. What's wrong? Wang Yao looked back. The 2 girls happened to choose the table next to them. Well, not bad. Wei Hai glanced at them and then lowered his head to eat. What's not bad? The dishes are not bad. The people are not bad. If you like them, go and ask them, Wei Hai said with a smile. Wang Mingbao didn't say anything. He lowered his head to eat. From time to time, he glanced at the quiet and beautiful girl. Waiter! Wei Hai called the waiter over and ordered 2 more dishes. In fact, the dishes on the table were enough for them. What a feast for the eyes! Wang Yao smiled but didn't say anything. The 3 of them ate slowly. Wang Mingbao also felt a little strange. He opened a restaurant and welcomed guests from all over the world. He often went out and saw all kinds of beautiful women. However, when he saw the strange girl today, he suddenly had a special feeling. He wanted to ask her if she had a boyfriend, ask her for her phone number, invite her to dinner, ask her to go to a movie. A series of things all came out at this moment. Was this the so-called love at first sight? On the table next to them, there were already 3 empty wine bottles. Brother Yu, what do you think of that girl? Beautiful. Go and ask? Wang Mingbao put down his chopsticks. His two thick eyebrows were slightly raised. He then turned his head to look at the few men at the table next to him who were drinking with red faces. One of the men stood up. He was 1.8 meters tall. He had a strong back and a bear's waist. His appearance was not bad. After he got up, he went to the table where the two girls were eating. "Beauty, how should I address you? Let's make friends." The way of greeting was not creative at all. The girl was stunned. She obviously didn't expect to encounter such a situation. "Sorry, I don't know you," she replied with a smile. "Beauty, you're even more beautiful when you smile. It's okay if you didn't know her before. Don't you know her now?" "Yeah." The man's companion also joined in the fun. "Sorry." It was still the same reply. "Beauty, you don't give me any face?" The man actually sat down directly next to the girl. The girl's face turned a little pale. "She doesn't want to." "Don't be so shameless." Wang Mingbao turned his head and said. Wang Yao put down his chopsticks with a smile. Wei Hai leaned on the chair and continued to relax. "I'm not your brother. Who are you? Is this your girl?" The tall and strong man sneered and asked. The few men at the same table as him also looked at Wang Mingbao with extremely unfriendly eyes. Along the way, even Wang Yao and Wei Hai followed. "You have to protect me later, okay?" In this somewhat tense atmosphere, Wei Hai said such a sentence for no reason. Wang Yao felt angry and funny at the same time. "Wenting, let's go?" The beautiful and quiet woman stood up and said to her companion. "Okay. Don't rush." The strong man reached out and stopped her. "If you continue to be like this, I'll call the police." The girl said sternly. "Hey, don't. I just want to make friends with the beauty. I don't mean anything else." Wang Mingbao stood up from his seat. "Hey, buddy, what do you want to do?" The two men at the next table also stood up. Thud. They had just stood up when they sat back down in their chairs. "Hiss, what's going on?" The two men were stunned and shook their heads. "He drank less than half a liter of wine, and he's already drunk. He can't even stand properly." At this time, Wang Mingbao came to the side of the man. He was also tall and strong. If the man was a bear, he was a tiger. He stood there and stared at the man opposite him. Who was Wang Mingbao? In the village, he specialized in dealing with the ruffians and bullies. He would go to people's door and beat them up when he had nothing to do. He was a typical person who was not afraid of trouble, let alone these drunkards. "Don't pretend to be a wolf with a big tail." The three men stood up from the table. One of them was holding a wine bottle in his hand. A conflict was about to break out. The people eating next to them subconsciously stopped eating. Some people hid to the side, afraid of splashing blood. Some people picked up their mobile phones to take a video and were ready to post it on Weibo. Some people ordered more bottles of wine to watch the live broadcast. Wang Yao moved his fingers slightly and looked at the three men holding the wine bottles. "Are you full?" Wang Mingbao suddenly turned to the beautiful girl and asked. "Yes," the girl, or should not be called a girl, replied after being stunned for a moment. "Then go home and rest early." "Yes." The girl came back to her senses and walked out with her friends. The man with the idea wanted to stop them, but he was stopped by Wang Mingbao. Chapter 206. Are you looking for trouble? The brawny man raised his fist and punched at Wang Mingbao. Wang Mingbao dodged the punch and threw an uppercut at his chin. The punch was so powerful that he fell to the ground. Seeing this, the man's three companions hurriedly rushed forward, wanting to help. Wang Yao stood up, pushed, pulled, and pushed. The three of them fell to the ground with a thud. "What the f***ck? Wei Hai was stunned. "Thank you," the girl said to Wang Mingbao gratefully. "It's okay. Let's go home," Wang Yao said. The police car screamed outside. As he said before, it was only 500 meters away from the police station. As long as the person was not crazy, he would not make trouble here. Wang Yao did not know which kind-hearted person had called the police, but they were all asked to go back for questioning. Wang Mingbao contacted his friends at the police station in time. Besides, they were not at fault, but the drunk guys were in trouble. They looked like they were not convinced. Their courage was admirable since they dared to be dissatisfied with the police. Surprisingly, the girl who Wang Mingbao cared about took the initiative to follow them to the police station to prove that they were good people. This made Wang Yao think highly of the girl. People with such character were generally not wrong. They did not stay in the police station for long. Wang Mingbao sent the two girls home. Wang Yao drove back to the mountain village, and went up Nanshan Hill after sending Wei Hai back to the shop. After going up Nanshan Hill, he thought about what had happened that day. Whether it was Zhou Wukong or Wei Hai's illness, it was not easy to treat difficult and complicated diseases, even with the help of the system. At least, it was not possible with Wang Yao's current level. The system's medicine was not a panacea. It needed to be used according to the patient's condition. These were all mentioned in the knowledge that the system paid attention to. However, it would take a long time to effectively combine practice and theory. That night, Wang Yao went to bed very late. The rain stopped in the middle of the night. After the rain, people began to work in the field. The next morning, the weather was clear. There were many more people on the hill today. They had been waiting for a long time for the rain to finally stop. Some of the farm work could start. Wang Yao's parents also went up the hill. Although Wang Yao had told them several times that if they did not want to work in the fields, they could do it according to their mood. With his current income, he could provide for them a carefree life. However, his mother rolled her eyes at him and his father's teachings. His parents had very simple values. As long as they could do it themselves and had a source of income, they would not want to trouble themselves, regardless of how capable or how rich their children were. After finishing his routine practice, Wang Yao thought about his next itinerary in the house. He wanted to go to Lianshan County to see the situation of Zhou Wukong and Wei Hai. He was a little worried about them because of the accident that happened yesterday. He planned to go to Tsangzhou first and then go to Beijing. There were two patients that he still could not help, Zhou Wui and Su Xiaoxue. Woof, woof, woof. The dog outside suddenly barked. It was very anxious. What's wrong, San Xian? Wang Yao went out to take a look. He did not see anyone on the hill. He only saw the dog barking in a direction. What is this? He went forward to take a look and found a snake. It was an ordinary thin snake, 1 foot long, black and gray. Its body was injured. It must have been hit by someone. The flesh and blood were exposed. He did not know why it came to the herbal field. The dog was about to rush over. The snake also raised its head and spat out its tongue. However, it did not look very energetic because of the injury. San Xian, wait. Wang Yao stopped the dog. Snakes were spiritual animals. Don't hurt it. After he finished speaking, he went into the house and took out some ointment for treating external wounds. This ointment was very effective in treating external wounds. He was going to treat the snake, which was less than 1 foot long. Caw! There was a cry in the sky. A goshawk descended from the sky and landed on the treetop. A pair of sharp eagle eyes stared at the injured snake on the ground. Under the sunlight, the goshawk's feathers were hard and shiny. During the time when the spirit gathering array was formed, not only did the plants grow very quickly, but the dog and the goshawk also grew very quickly. As they grew in size, their feathers became even brighter. An ordinary dog was already about the size of a German shepherd, and there were still signs of growth. The same was true for the goshawk. Desya, don't hurt it. The goshawk suddenly flapped its wings twice. It did not rush down from the tree. It was generally believed that in nature, eagles and snakes were natural enemies. In fact, snakes were not the main food of eagles. Under normal circumstances, snakes could not defeat eagles. Little guy, relax. I'm going to treat your injury. Wang Yao smiled at the snake. Obviously, as a wild animal, It was impossible for it to understand Wang Yao's human language. Out of instinct, it made a self-defense action. Wang Yao fiercely reached out and pinched its 7 inches. The snake, more than 1 foot long, quickly coiled around his wrist, but it did not have much strength. With his current strength, he could kill it with a gentle pinch. Relax. Wang Yao gently sprinkled medicine on its wound and carefully confirmed it. Then, he put it on the ground and let it go. After the snake landed, it quickly swam away. After it was a distance away, it turned its head to look. It seemed to want to remember Wang Yao's face. It could also be seen that it had a spiritual side. I hope I can save it. San Xian, de Xia, don't hurt it when you see it again. Wang Yao did not forget to remind the two of them. With their current ability, it was easy to kill it. Wang Yao stood up and looked at the miasma grass. There are such licorice roots here. Normally, animals such as snakes and insects would not come here. Is it a coincidence? This small matter was just a small episode in his life. It would be over soon. At around 10 a.m., he went down the hill and drove to Lianshan County. Why didn't he answer the phone? In a hotel in Haik, a middle-aged man was anxiously holding the phone in his hand. He was Chen Buyuan from Beijing. He had just called Wang Yao, but Wang Yao did not answer the phone. Just an hour ago, he had called from Beijing to ask about the matter in Haik. He could only say that he was working on it. So far, he had not even seen Wang Yao. The key problem was that he could not let Wang Yao know what to do. Otherwise, his trip to Haik would be over early. Call me again. He paced back and forth in the room. This time, the call finally went through. Dr. Wang, you're finally willing to pick up my call. Sorry, the phone was on silent mode just now. I didn't see it, Wang Yao said while driving. Are you free today? Today, I have to go to Lianshan County to see 2 patients. I should be free in the afternoon. Lianshan County. I'll go there right away. Can I meet you in the afternoon? Okay, let's meet in the afternoon. Okay, thank you. Chen Buyuan on the other end of the phone heard the answer and let out a long sigh of relief. At around 10:30 p.m., he arrived in Lianshan County. First, he drove to Wei Hai's place. In the tea shop, Wei Hai was lying on a deck chair, listening to a zither solo. There was a cup of tea on the table next to him. Looking at his complexion, it was obvious that he was much better than yesterday. Seeing Wang Yao coming, he hurriedly got up and said, Come, take a seat. Just lie there. What are you listening to? Zither? Yes, I didn't realize that these things invented by our ancestors were so interesting. Wang Yao smiled after hearing that. What tea do you want to drink? I can do it myself. How are you? Do you feel any discomfort? No, I'm much better. When I woke up this morning to take the medicine, I reduced the dosage by half. By the way, I decocted a decoction according to the prescription you left behind, Wei Hai said. Let me take a look. Chen Buyuan tapped his wrist. It's much better than yesterday. Just take the medicine according to the dosage. This illness can't be rushed. Wang Yao sighed. He was indeed a little anxious. Hey, let me tell you some gossip. Wei Hai's eyes lit up. He sat up from the deck chair. What is it? Wang Mingbao is in love. In love? The girl last night? Yes, I saw her go to Wang Mingbao's shop today. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Coincidence. Wang Mingbao personally sent her out. He stood by the roadside and watched her get into a taxi with a reluctant look on his face. Is that a coincidence? Wei Hai asked. No, you have nothing to do, so you keep an eye on Wei Hai? Wang Yao laughed. Hey, you're right. I really have nothing to do. Besides drinking tea and listening to music, I haven't found any other hobbies for the time being. Do you have any good hobbies to introduce to me? There are good and bad hobbies. Right. Wei Hai suddenly put down the cup in his hand and became excited. What's wrong? Why are you so excited? Do you know Kung Fu? What happened last night was still fresh in Wei Hai's memory. In the blink of an eye, Wang Yao put the three men on the ground in a very relaxed manner. Although they were drunk, it was too easy. It was obvious that he knew kung fu. A little, Wang Yao said with a smile. Then can you teach me? Wei Hai asked. He had wanted to learn kung fu for a long time. In fact, before his mentality changed, he had wanted to learn some kung fu, but he didn't have the perseverance to persist. Now, he wanted to learn kung fu not because he wanted to rely on and be heroic when he saw injustice on the road. He simply wanted to exercise his body. Chapter 207. I'm not good at it. I don't know how to teach it to others. Wang Yao replied. However, I do know a friend who has been practicing kung fu for at least 20 years. He's in Lianshan now. Is that so? Introduce him to me. Wei Hai hurriedly said. What a coincidence. I'm going to visit him later. I'll ask him for you. To be honest, he taught me kung fu. Okay. Do you want me to go with you? Wei Hai asked. He was bored in the tea shop. In Lianshan, he didn't have any other friends except for Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao. Li Maoshuang was one of them. He wanted to go out for a walk, but he didn't think it was fun. It would be good to have 3 or 4 people together to play cards or mahjong. He's here to seek medical treatment. His son is sick. I'll ask him first. Oh, that's good, Wei Hai hurriedly replied. Tea? Drink some when appropriate. Don't drink too much, especially before and after taking the medicine. Okay. They stayed in Wei Hai's tea shop for a while. It was already noon. Let's have lunch together. Wang Yao looked at the time. Sure. Wang Yao called Wang Mingbao and Li Maoshuang, who was at home. As for the place, they chose the health restaurant near Wei Hai's tea shop. They had eaten there last time and thought the taste was good. Wang Mingbao was in the tea shop. He came as soon as he received the call. Li Maoshuang came after about 10 minutes. Looking at his ruddy face, it was obvious that he had been living a good life. You look good. Of course. About 2 weeks ago, I went to Wudong Mountain and stayed there for a few days. I learned some kung fu from the Taoist priest on the mountain. The effect is good. You can try it when you have time. Of course, Dr. Wang doesn't need to. Are you alone? Wang Mingbao asked with a smile. Well, I originally wanted to take my sister-in-law with me, but she has to take care of the children at home. I will go first. After the children are out for summer vacation, the whole family will live there for a period of time. It can also be considered as a summer holiday. Li Maoshuang said. Well, this is not bad. Wei Hai said. After everyone had arrived, the dishes they ordered were quickly served. They ate and chatted. Hey, what has Brother Tian been busy with recently? They seem to have rented a mountain in town and set up a mountain business and resort project. Yes, it's called Egret Lake. I went there some time ago. It's pretty good, Wang Mingbao said. The meal was quite delicious. There was no alcohol, so they chatted about the recent situation. It was a simple gathering of friends, and everyone was very happy. I found that this kind of life is quite good, Li Maoshuang said without any reason. Well, Wei Hai nodded. It was not clear whether he agreed or was thinking about it. Mingbao, don't be so busy making money. There are some things in life that are more important than making money, Li Maoshuang said. Both he and Wei Hai had a great change in their attitudes toward life after a serious illness. I still want to work hard for 2 more years. After a few years, I will learn from you, Wang Mingbao said with a smile. Mentality was related to experience and age. It was not easy to change it with a few words from friends. After the meal, they were invited by Wei Hai to sit in his tea shop. They listened to a few ancient songs, drank a few cups of tea, and talked about their feelings about life. After that, they went to do their own things. Wang Yao also drove to Zhou Xiong's place. When he saw Zhou Wukong again, his arm was completely swollen, and part of the skin had become more elastic. Although it was only a small area, it was a good sign. It was a sign that the disease was changing in the direction of recovery. It was a sign that the withered tree was rejuvenated. Kong, how do you feel? Wang Yao was not in a hurry to check his pulse. Instead, he asked how the child felt. The intuition of the patient was a very important reference. I feel that this arm is much more comfortable, and my body is also lighter. That's good. Let me take a look again. Wang Yao sat down again to check his pulse. From the pulse, Kang's arm was indeed much better. A small part of the previously blocked meridians had even been dredged. Do you still have the medicine? Wang Yao asked Zhou Xiong. Yes, there is a lot. I just gave him some to drink. I'll give you a massage again. Wang Yao carefully massaged Zhou Wukong several times along the meridians and acupoints of the arm. The strength was moderate, neither too light nor too heavy. After a period of time, his skinny arms had turned red. How do you feel? It's warm and a little painful. It's about time. Let's call it a day. Thank you, uncle. Dr. Wang, have some tea. Zhou Xiong brought the brewed tea over. His face was full of smiles because he saw that his son's illness had signs of improvement. It was also his biggest worry over the years. There's something I want to tell you, Brother Zhou. What is it? Tell me, Zhou Xiong said. Well, I have a friend who is not in good health. He wants to learn Kung Fu. I think I'm not qualified to teach him, so I thought of you, Wang Yao said. That's not a problem, Zhou Xiong said. I'll talk to him. If he's free tonight, let's have dinner together. Okay, but it has to be my treat. You choose the place, Zhou Xiong said. Okay. Wang Yao smiled. He called Wei Hai and drove Zhou Xiong and his son to his restaurant. Come on, please have a seat. Seeing Wang Yao and his son, Wei Hai was very happy. It was one feeling to watch TV and listen to music in the empty restaurant alone. It was another feeling to have a few friends to drink tea and chat. Wei Hai preferred the latter. Some patients liked quietness, while others liked liveliness. This is the master I mentioned to you in the morning, Zhou Xiong. What master? Don't talk nonsense. Zhou Xiong smiled and waved his hand. I've only practiced Kung Fu for a few years. This is Wei Hai, the owner of this tea shop. He only runs the shop. He doesn't buy tea. Hello. Hello. After introducing both parties, Wang Yao talked about Wei Hai's physical condition. With his current physical condition, he couldn't do strenuous sports. In your condition, you can only practice Tai Chi, Zhou Xiong said with a smile. What a coincidence. I also learned Tai Chi. Okay, I'll learn Tai Chi then, Wei Hai said. I'll teach you the basics first. It's a bit narrow. Let's go upstairs. It's more spacious there. They went upstairs. The restaurant had a two-story structure. On the second floor, there was a large living room outside the bedroom. Well, this is fine. After that, Zhou Xiong began to teach the simplest basics of Tai Chi. Wei Hai's comprehension ability was obviously several times worse than Wang Yao's. He learned very slowly. It could even be described as a world of difference. Fortunately, Zhou Xiong was very patient. He was not in a hurry. He taught slowly. Unknowingly, the sky outside darkened. Take a rest first. Although he only learned a few simple boxing moves, Wei Hai, who was weak, was tired and sweating. Okay, take a rest first. Huff huff. Sitting on the sofa, Wei Hai gasped for breath. Your physical fitness is weak. Don't rush. Take it slow, Zhou Xiong said. Okay. Zhou Xiong drank a mouthful of water. Appropriate exercise can strengthen the circulation of qi and blood. It's also good for your body. After Wei Hai rested for a while, Wang Yao invited a few people to eat together. Tian Yuantu happened to be free. This time, they chose a better place, Shenghua Hotel. After all, there were more people, and the hotel was not far from here. They had not seen each other for a long time. Tian Yuantu looked thinner and a little tired. Brother Tian, you don't look very good. Have you been tired recently? Yes, I'm quite tired. I'm considering whether the company should be listed. In addition, there are more new projects. There are a lot of things to worry about. You have to take it easy. Don't be like me, Wei Hai said. Don't worry. I don't drink or smoke. I have regular physical examinations, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. The dishes were sumptuous, but the taste was only average. At this gathering, there were old friends and new friends. Everyone was chatting and laughing, temporarily putting aside those troubles and worries. They were also very happy. Chapter 208. They were flushed with success, physically and mentally exhausted, leisurely, contented, and peaceful. A table, a pot of tea, a few people, and a few different attitude. 100 flavors of life. These 4 words were very broad. A dinner party was the beginning and consolidation of friendship. After that, they went home to rest, ready to start a new day and continue the new journey of life. Drive safe. Okay. After parting with a few friends, Wang Yao drove slowly back. When he passed a traffic light, it was green and should be passing. Suddenly, a woman rushed out in a hurry. Wang Yao slammed on the brakes. The woman sat on the ground. What happened? Wang Yao quickly got out of the car and found the woman sitting on the ground holding her stomach. Her face was pale. She was pregnant. Are you okay? He quickly went forward and asked. I'm fine. The woman stood up. She was a beautiful woman. Her face was very haggard. Looking at her made one's heart ache. I seem to have seen this person somewhere before. Wang Yao looked at the woman's face. He felt like he had seen her somewhere before. I'll take you to the hospital. Although it was the woman who ran the red light and Wang Yao's car didn't hit her, he still scared her. Besides, there was another life in her belly. At this time, he didn't dare to take the risk. No need. The woman's eyes were a little strange. She stared blankly ahead. It was not that she was listless. She was a little confused and disappointed. I remember now. Wang Yao remembered who the woman was. He had seen her in Wang Mingbao's shop. At that time, she was with her husband. She seemed to be a big customer. However, because of his kind reminder, the man did not seem very happy. What? The woman did not insist. She just covered her stomach and slowly crossed the road. Boom. At this time, a motorcycle rushed over. Be careful. Wang Yao hurriedly stepped forward and shielded her behind him. The motorcycle suddenly swerved and crashed into a large tree before stopping. Fortunately, the rider was wearing a helmet. Even so, he was still dizzy from the impact and didn't recover for a long time. Motherf *Ker, are you blind? He came back to his senses, and the first thing he did was to scold Wang Yao. Beep, beep, beep. The sound of honking came from behind. Wang Yao's car was blocking the road, and the cars behind couldn't pass smoothly. Are you all right? This was the second time Wang Yao asked the woman. I'm fine, thank you. With that, she crossed the road and left alone. Under the dim light, that figure looked very lonely and worrisome. Brother, she's gone. Quickly move the car away. Someone shouted at Wang Yao. The man who was blocked by Wang Yao shouted at Wang Yao with a smile. He also saw what happened just now and subconsciously thought that Wang Yao had rushed out of the car to save people. Therefore, he was not angry and just shouted. There were very few people who were not afraid of this idea. Okay. Wang Yao wanted to get into the car in a hurry, but he was stopped by the rider. What should I do? What should I do? Wang Yao said. My motorcycle was damaged, and I'm not feeling well now. You have to accompany me to the hospital. The man grabbed Wang Yao's arm and didn't let him go. It was a red light just now, Wang Yao said. You can call the police. You. The man was stunned. Wang Yao turned around and got into the car. Coincidentally, it was a red light again. He waited for the green light to turn on before driving over. The man who had hit the tree just now was left standing in the wind. Was it a red light just now? Why do I remember it was a green light, in a well-decorated house in Lianshan County. The table in the living room was a mess. There were several bottles of wine. A man was drunk and reeked of alcohol. The door opened and a woman with a pale face walked in. It was the woman who had almost been hit by Wang Yao just now. Where have you been this time? As soon as the man saw the woman, he immediately stood up from the sofa and walked toward her unsteadily. What are you doing? The woman covered her belly. I'm asking you what you've been doing. Did you hook up with some random man? Pang Yin, you bastard. Are you still human? The woman was so angry that her whole body trembled. Tears welled up in her eyes. Yo, you're quite good at pretending. The man snorted. Tell me, where have you been? He grabbed the woman's arm. His eyes became a little ferocious. Let go of me. I have a child in my belly. Child? I don't know whose bastard it is. You, she cried softly and turned to leave the house. However, her husband suddenly grabbed her hair and pulled her back. Where do you want to go? You bitch. You jinx. Slap. He slapped the woman's face. Then, he punched and kicked his pregnant wife like a crazy dog. There was a scream. The woman covered her belly. The man was stunned. Taking advantage of this, the woman stood up and rushed out of her house. She went downstairs and ran forward. She wanted to escape from her home, which was supposed to be the warmest place in the world. The night was a little cold. There was a light drizzle. Zhou Xiong strolled outside alone and bought some fruits on the way. He saw a figure. It was a woman. To be precise, it was a pregnant woman. He saw blood. Blood was flowing down her thighs. Her white pants had been stained red. He was stunned. Some people nearby also saw it. They just pointed at it and didn't dare to go forward. Look, what's wrong with that person? Pregnant woman. There's a lot of blood. She has to go to the hospital quickly. I'll go over and talk to her. Are you crazy? What if you get blamed? Oh no. He rushed to the woman's side and stopped her. The woman looked up at him. There was a palm print on her face. Her eyes were filled with tears and despair. You can't walk anymore. You have to go to the hospital immediately. He pointed at the woman's thighs. Her pants were stained with blood. My child. The woman was stunned. Zhou Xiong didn't hesitate for a moment. He picked up the phone and called for an ambulance. Come, sit down. He helped the woman, who seemed to be in a daze, to the side and waited anxiously. Where's your family? Call them quickly. I don't have a family. The woman seemed to be in a daze. You bitch. You really have someone outside. At this moment, a man who reeked of alcohol rushed over. I'll beat you to death. The man picked up a brick from the ground. Zhou Xiong hurriedly stood up to protect the woman. Then, he gently pushed the man and he fell to the ground. How could a drunk man who couldn't walk steadily fight against a man who was highly skilled in martial arts? Zhou Xiong stared at the man on the ground. His eyes were cold and revealed a murderous intent. You. The man sobered up in an instant. Well, are you planning to conspire to murder your own husband? The man said angrily. Is there any justice in this world? The people nearby saw this scene and heard the man's words. They gathered nearby and pointed at them with the mentality of watching a show. The woman got up and was about to leave. Zhou Xiong punched the guardrail on the side of the road. With a creak, the stainless steel guardrail bent to a 90-degree angle. Get lost. He gritted his teeth and said this word. You, Sha Jihua. The man gritted his teeth. His face was like a demon. He stared at Zhou Xiong and the woman behind him in front of him. He wanted to eat them alive. In the end, he turned and left, cursing and swearing. Not everyone could withstand the cold eyes of a martial arts master. He was drunk, but he wasn't stupid. Ooh. The ambulance arrived. Zhou Xiong put the woman in the ambulance and took her to the hospital. How are you related to the patient? The doctor asked. A stranger. Stranger, can you take some responsibility? Her situation is very dangerous now. The child may not be saved, the doctor said. In today's society, who would send such a strange patient to the hospital? It was too late to hide. Then, please try your best to save her, Zhou Xiong hurriedly said. Of course, we will try our best, but the family needs to sign the hospitalization procedures and pay the fees. Zhou Xiong went to do all this. He paid the money and went through the hospitalization procedures. The woman had just been admitted to the hospital when the doctor came again. The test results are out. The child can't be saved. She has to undergo surgery. How many months? More than 5 months. Can't you think of another way? There is no way. Zhou Xiong was stunned. His face was very ugly. It was as if this strange pregnant woman was really related to him. He paced back and forth in the corridor. Wait a moment. He picked up the phone. In the mountain village, a row of street lights was still bright. Wang Yao came out of his house and walked to Nanshan Hill. The phone in his pocket suddenly rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Zhou Xiong. Brother Zhou, what's the matter? What? Pregnant woman? Wang Yao was stunned. Is it a light blue long-sleeved shirt and white pants? Yes, how do you know? Zhou Xiong on the other end of the phone was stunned. Is it very dangerous? Yes, the doctor said the child may. Which hospital? I'll go there immediately. Wang Yao hurriedly got into the car. In the night, the black car roared and rushed out like a black leopard. It was the pregnant woman. Was it because she was frightened that caused such a reaction? Wang Yao was very anxious. The car was driving very fast. Wang Yao looked for Pan Jun on the phone. After all, Pan Jun worked in the county hospital and was familiar with some people. It usually took him 30 minutes to finish the journey. This time, it took him less than 20 minutes. When he arrived at the county hospital, Pan Jun was already waiting at the door. What's going on? Help me see a patient. She's in the hospital. The two of them quickly found Zhou Xiong. As soon as he saw the woman lying on the bed, Wang Yao immediately recognized her. It was the woman he had almost knocked down. At this time, her thighs were full of blood. Pan Jun took a look and roughly understood the situation. He hurriedly pulled Wang Yao out of the ward. Chapter 209. What's going on? Is she your relative? No, I met her on the road, Wang Yao said. I almost hit her when I was driving. She might have been scared. Wang Yao didn't notice any signs of bleeding at that time because the woman didn't cooperate. He couldn't diagnose her. She wasn't scared. She was beaten, Zhou Xiong, who followed them out, said after hearing the conversation between the two. Beaten? Who beat her? Wang Yao was stunned. Pan Jun was also stunned. Her husband, Zhou Xiong said. Then you don't have to worry about it. You can't wash your hands of this kind of thing. Pan Jun kindly reminded. I want to see her. Wang Yao decisively made a decision. Regardless of whether she was frightened or for other reasons, he had to save her first. I can't hold the baby. My baby can't be saved. The woman lying on the bed had just heard the conversation between the doctor and the nurse. She was dumbfounded. The repeated blows had made her lose her support. She was bleeding and crying. Her family was gone, and her baby was gone. What was the point of living? When Wang Yao entered the ward, he saw the woman and the way she looked at him. Her heart was dead. He thought of these 4 words. Such an expression should never appear on a soon-to-be mother's face. He reached out to check the woman's pulse. The woman's arm was a little cold. It was very dangerous. Very dangerous. The baby's qi was quite unstable. Wang Yao's brain was working quickly, but he couldn't think of a suitable way to protect the baby. Wait. He took out a white porcelain bottle and then poured out a pill from it. What is this? Pan Jun was slightly stunned when he saw it. What was this? Zhou Xiong looked at the pill with a strange expression in his eyes. Others didn't know, but he knew very well. That day in Sangzhou, his uncle was a lamp that had run out of oil. Even Mr. Sang had given his last notice. At the most critical moment, on the verge of life and death, Wang Yao arrived and used such a pill. A single pill could change life and death. After taking the medicine, Wang Yao immediately checked her pulse. After a long time, he let out a sigh of relief. "How is it?" Zhou Xiong asked softly. "She should be fine, but she still needs to rest. Where's her family?" "I don't know." She refused to say. "Have you thought about it?" At this time, the doctor came over again. "Pan Jun?" He was surprised to see Pan Jun. "Director Zhao, let's talk." Pan Jun pulled the owner out. "This won't do. We have to find his family quickly," Wang Yao said. "In the corridor outside the ward." "That's impossible. I checked it myself. It can't be wrong." "Then why don't you take a look and observe?" "All right, let's wait a little longer, but we can't wait for too long. If we wait any longer, Sir will be in danger," Director Zhao said. "All right, thank you." The results of the following examination stunned everyone in the relevant professions. The patient's condition, which had been critical just now, suddenly stabilized. It was so stable that he only needed to be observed for a while before he could be discharged. "What's going on?" After confirming it again and again, they found that it was true. "Was there a misdiagnosis just now?" "That's impossible. Under such circumstances, the possibility of a misdiagnosis is very low. It must be the pill just now," Pan Jun, who had seen the scene just now, thought. "The child is saved?" The woman looked at Zhou Xiong. She thought that this kind man was lying to her. She knew that he had heard the news from the doctor. Then, the look in her eyes changed. Her family was gone, but she had to keep the child. She had endured those unbearable things for the sake of her child. After this experience, she had made a decision in her heart. That man is not a good match. This was what her mother had once said. Now that she thought about it, how foresight her mother was. She regretted it so much. "Can you talk to your family now?" Zhou Xiong asked softly. He was now a little worried about his son. It was already past 10 p.m., and Kong was still at home alone. Although he had called to confirm, he was still worried. "Please give my brother a call." The woman, who had been silent for a long time, finally opened her mouth. Zhou Xiong called her brother. The other party's tone was very angry and anxious. He said that he would rush over immediately. "Thank you." This was the first time the woman had said thank you. "You're welcome. It's what we should do." For some reason, Zhou Xiong's reply was a little stiff. They waited for more than an hour before the woman's brother rushed over. He was of medium height and looked very strong. "Sister." When the man saw his sister lying on the hospital bed, he became very emotional. "Is it that bastard Peng Yen? I told you to divorce him. Why didn't you listen? I'll go and ask him." Shao Qi. It was not convenient for Wang Yao and Zhou Xiong to listen to the conversation between the sister and brother. They waited in the corridor and planned to wait for a while before leaving. "That pill is very precious, right?" "Very precious. Several licorice roots were used in medicine. It was not just precious. In his current situation, he might not be able to refine it for a few months. Every time he used it, there would be one less pill. Unless it was an emergency, he would not use it." "I'm sorry," Zhou Xiong said after a moment of silence. "What's there to be sorry about?" Wang Yao said with a smile. "If it wasn't for this phone call, perhaps you wouldn't have come." "If you didn't come, a life would have been lost," Wang Yao said with a smile. After reading a lot of Taoist scriptures, some things became open-minded and some things became mysterious. Everything in the world had a cause and effect. It was all about karma. Just as the two of them were talking, the woman's brother came out. "My sister has told me everything. Thank you." He sincerely expressed his gratitude. In today's society there were too few people like him. "You're welcome. Goodbye." Wang Yao and Zhou Xiong left and said goodbye to Pan Jun. When they left, they didn't even know the woman's name. I'll drive you home. Okay. After driving Zhou Xiong home, Wang Yao drove back. When he arrived at the village, it was already 11 p.m. The village was very quiet. Other than the street lights, there were only a few houses with their lights on. Wang Yao parked his car and went up Nanshan Hill alone. Another light was turned on halfway up the hill. After a while, the light went out. It was very quiet on the hill. Wang Yao slept very well. He slept very well, but there was someone who couldn't sleep. This person was Chun Buiyuan, who was in Lianshan County. He had an appointment with Wang Yao in the afternoon, but Wang Yao was delayed because of some things. He also called Chun Buiyuan and asked if he could meet tomorrow. Therefore, they decided to meet tomorrow. What could Chun Buiyuan say? After all, he needed help from Wang Yao. He could only wait for another day. However, he was worried that Beijing would call again. He had been here for 2 days and hadn't even seen Beijing's people. He was not doing well. I hope I can see him tomorrow. The next day, the weather was a bit gloomy. Woof, woof, woof. San Xian barked early in the morning. At this time, Wang Yao was practicing boxing on Nanshan Hill. He heard the dog barking, but he didn't care. Not far in front of the dog was a thin snake. It was the snake that Wang Yao saved not long ago. In a short time, the snake's wound had almost recovered. However, Wang Yao didn't know why it took the risk to come here again. After all, whether it was the dog in front of it or the goshawk in the sky, it couldn't deal with them. The dog made a low sound. It was hesitating whether to bite the little worm in front of it to death. It had invaded its territory, but it couldn't disobey its master's words. It was so difficult. The thin snake made a hissing sound. The dog and the snake confronted each other for a while. The snake turned its head and quickly left. Snake. Wang Yao came from the foot of the hill and entered the spirit-gathering battle array. He saw a thin snake. It happened to be the one he saved not long ago. Hello. The thin snake stopped and looked up at Wang Yao. It seemed to be quite intelligent. Let's go. Be careful. At this time, the dog also ran over and kept staring at the small snake. Well, San Xian, it's so small. Don't bully it. Wang Yao patted San Xian's head and continued to walk down. He entered the hut. The rest of the dogs stared at the thin snake. Suddenly, there was a sound in the sky. The thin snake quickly turned and left. The dog shook its head and looked up at the black dot in the sky. At this time, in the mountain village at the foot of Nanshan Hill, a car drove into the small mountain village and stopped in the middle of the village. A person came out of the car. This person was Chun Buiyuan, who had rushed over from Jing. He originally wanted to wait in Lianshan County, but in the morning, he received a call from Jing. Although Mrs. Song didn't say much, he knew what to do, so he called Wang Yao. After Wang Yao informed him to come to the mountain village, he hurriedly drove over. Wang Yao came down the hill after receiving the call. He saw Chun Buiyuan anxiously waiting from afar. You came early? I just arrived. Come in and have a seat. Wang Yao invited him into the house. There was no one at home. His parents had gone out. Wang Yao made him a cup of tea. Please have some tea. Thank you. This time, you came from Jing for Su Xiaoxue, right? Yes, Mrs. Song is a little worried about Mrs.'s condition. After all, so many days have passed, and you still haven't planned to go to Jing. Let's wait a little longer. Wang Yao took a sip of tea. How long do we have to wait? Chun Buiyuan was a little anxious. I'm not sure. Wang Yao put down the teacup and looked out the window. Not far away was the mountain ridge. I'm waiting for a medicine. What medicine? I'll get it done right away. Haha, this medicine, you can't get it. Wang Yao laughed. Chapter 210. Wang Yao was not talking about one type of medicine. He was talking about one type of medicine. Before going to Jing City, he needed to decoct muscle revitalization powder to treat the ulceration on Su Xiaoshue's body and regenerate her skin. It was a journey of thousands of miles to the north. Every trip had to have an effect and gain something. I can pass. Chen Buiyuan still wanted to say something, but he saw Wang Yao wave his hand with a smile. He had to stop. What kind of medicine is it? The flat peach from heaven. Chen Buiyuan was stunned. I'm just kidding. I'm talking about a medicine. It needs many kinds of herbs. Some of the herbs can't be bought on the market, Wang Yao said with a smile. Chen Buiyuan didn't ask any more questions. Do you have a rough time? Within a month. Wang Yao recovered so quickly. He didn't have enough redemption points to exchange for everlasting grass and lingshanji, 2 medium-grade licorice root. However, he had thought of a feasible method and was ready to give it a try. A month? Chen Buiyuan was stunned for a moment when he heard such a long time. It's such a long time. How can I reply to Jing City? What if something happens to Miss during this time? He didn't know what to say for a moment. Wang Yao wasn't in a hurry to say anything or make any promises. In fact, he also wanted to go to Jing City as soon as possible. The strong and pitiful girl was indeed admirable. He also wanted to cure her disease as soon as possible, even if it was just to relieve her pain. However, he had to be fully prepared before that. What if something happens to Miss? Call me. I'll go as soon as possible, Wang Yao said. Okay. Sorry to bother you. He got up and said. Since Chen Buiyuan didn't agree to go to Jing City immediately, there was no point for him to stay here. He could only tell the news to his wife in Jing City as soon as possible and see if she had any good ideas. It's fine. Wang Yao went out and saw Chen Buiyuan out. In Jing City, thousands of miles away, the sun in the sky was still the same. Although it looked bright, it didn't feel real. It was like a blurry film, which made people feel uncomfortable. Sunlight? It's a bit blurry. A woman with bandages all over her body was lying on the bed, looking outside the window that was hung with a screen. A few rays of sunlight shone through the gaps in the screen. Her disease was very serious and special. It required the room to be ventilated, but it could not be exposed to strong light. Therefore, there were many gauze curtains in the room, made of the best silk in Jiangnan. When will he come again? Tap, tap, tap. The sound of footsteps came from outside. There are footsteps. Is it Mom? A graceful and elegant woman walked in from outside. Xiao Shui, how do you feel? The woman asked her daughter. She didn't know if her daughter could hear her. Mom, I feel much better. You don't have to worry. The daughter replied in her heart. She really hoped that her mother could hear it. Your Uncle Chen has already gone to Lianshan County. He will invite the doctor here soon. Your illness will be cured soon, Song Ruiping said softly. Really? Hey, why haven't I heard from him yet? Buzz. At this moment, the woman's phone rang. Song Ruiping hurriedly walked out of the bedroom, afraid that it would disturb her daughter. What? 1 month? What kind of medicine needs such a long time? After hearing Chen Buiyuan's reply, Song Ruiping said angrily, Is he looking for an excuse? Is it because he can't cure Xiaoshue's illness? At this moment, the mother exuded a powerful aura. What are you talking about? At this moment, a somewhat old and heavy voice was heard. Dad. Song Ruiping hung up the phone without saying anything. She immediately bowed to the old man. Buiyuan went to Lianshan County? The old man's voice was very calm. Yes, Song Ruiping replied very respectfully. Did he go to invite Dr. Wang? I just went to ask. Sigh. The old man sighed. Let's see Xiao Shui first. After that, he went into the bedroom, followed by a man in his 40s with a faint smile on his face. Ma'am. Yes, the middle-aged woman responded softly. The old man entered the room and sat down in front of the bed of his favorite granddaughter. He didn't say anything. He just quietly stared at the girl lying on the bed. Xiao Shui, Grandpa is here to see you. The old man's voice was slightly trembling. Grandpa, hello. I'm fine. Don't worry, Su Xiaoxue said in her heart. However, her grandfather, who loved her the most, couldn't hear her thoughts. Sir, don't worry too much. Xiao Shui is a good person. She will be fine. The middle-aged man beside the old man gently comforted him. Yes, she will be fine, the old man said. The old man sat by the bed for a while. Then, he slowly got up and walked out of the room. His daughter-in-law followed beside him. Dad! What did Dr. Wang say? He said he will come in a month, Song Ruiping said truthfully. Why is it taking so long? He is waiting for a medicine. A medicine? What medicine? Can we help? The old man raised his gray eyebrows. No. The old man lowered his head and was silent for a moment. Then wait a little longer. But Xiaoshue's illness. Xiaoxue is very good. She is very good now. She will be better in the future, the old man said with certainty. After that, he slowly got up and left. After a few steps, the old man suddenly stopped and turned to Song Ruiping. Also, don't bother Dr. Wang anymore. He will come if he wants to. Yes. She restrained her momentum. She was not like before. Early in the morning, perhaps because of the recent frequent rain, the mountain was foggy. The whole mountain was shrouded in fog. Nanshan Hill was particularly foggy. Looking from afar, half of the mountain was covered in fog. The trees and the cottage could be vaguely seen. It was like a fairyland. Huh. Wang Yao opened the door. It was also covered in fog. However, the fog in the battle array was different from the fog outside. It looked much lighter. San Xian was lying in his cottage and didn't want to come out. Wang Yao went up to Nanshan Hill in the fog. The top of the mountain was also covered in fog. Wang Yao started a day of practice on the rock. Since he started to practice the boxing classic, he focused on practicing kung fu. Of course, he also meditated, but he didn't have as much time as before. While he was meditating, the fog around him was disturbed. Streaks and streaks of fog surrounded his body and were gathered in his palm. He punched. The fog dispersed and then gathered again. Gradually, the fog around him gathered around him. It seemed that there was something in his body that was attracting the fog around him. In the distance, the sky was white like a fish's belly. In the blink of an eye, the sun came out. Thousands of rays of red light shone on the earth. As soon as the sun came out, the fog dissipated a lot in just a short while. Buzz. A vibration came from his body. Wang Yao stopped practicing and stood up. The sky was shining brightly. After he went down the hill, he started to harvest the common herbs in the herbal field. He sold them in the medicine shop to get exchange points. Mature herbs were harvested, new seeds were planted, and some of them had sprouted leaves. In this array formation, ordinary herbs were growing at an astonishing rate. Wang Yao only watered such a large herbal field with diluted ancient spring water. He mainly used licorice root. These herbs are obviously not enough. Wang Yao looked at the pitiful amount of exchange points in the system. He decided to take advantage of the loophole in the system. He called Li Maoshuang and decided to buy some wild herbs from him. He wanted to see if he could get the approval of the system so that he could sell and exchange them in large quantities. Wild herbs? Yes, by according to the list. Wang Yao said. The medicinal herbs he listed were quite expensive. Not to mention the wild ones, even the ones that were grown by hand were quite expensive. Okay, I'll ask for you. When? The sooner, the better. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao went out to continue his work. He didn't go down the hill at noon. Instead, he ate a little and continued his work. At the foot of the hill, Chen Buiyuan came to Wang Yao's home again. He brought expensive gifts, famous cigarettes, wine, and tonic. Yao is not at home, Wang Yao's mother said. I'm not here to see Dr. Wang. I'm here to visit you, Chen Buiyuan said with a smile. Us? Zhang Xiufang was surprised. Yes. Chen Buiyuan put down the gifts and chatted with Wang Yao's parents for a while. He received a call from Beijing in the morning. They asked him to go back and not disturb Dr. Wang's normal life. He wanted to meet Wang Yao again to persuade him, but he gave up the idea. He didn't want to be affected by Wang Yao's plan. However, he still needed to maintain a good relationship. Therefore, he bought some things and came to visit his mother. He didn't plan to go up Nanshan Hill. You're welcome to come, but we don't want the gifts. In the end, Chen Buiyuan put down the gifts and left. Before he left, he looked up at the mountain in the distance. Nanshan Hill was blocked by another mountain. He couldn't see it from here. This doctor. He sighed and drove away. In a big courtyard in a village in Sangzhou, how is he? Let's ask him to come and have a look. If he continues to be like this, his meridians will shrink. Even if he doesn't die, he will be disabled. An old man in his 70s looked at the patient lying on the bed not far away. He still has a stream of nashi, but he can't hold on for long. Xiong is still in Lianshan. I'll ask him to help me ask. Okay. Thank you. In the afternoon, Wang Yao collected all the herbs he could and exchanged them. He only exchanged a little more than 100 points. He couldn't even buy everlasting grass. Chapter 211. It's too little. Wang Yao sighed as he looked at the exchange points. After leveling the land, he planted new seed. When it was close to evening, he received a call from Li Maoshuang when he was going down the mountain. He had inquired about the herbs he needed, but he would have to wait for a while. Li Maoshuang had given him different amounts of time. Some of the herbs could be delivered within 3 days, while others required 7 days. As soon as he hung up, another call came in. It was from Zhou Xiong. Zhou Xiong explained his uncle's situation over the phone. His meridians are atrophied? Wang Yao knew it was urgent. He probably had to go to Tsangzhou as soon as possible. I'll go to Tsangzhou as soon as possible. I'll arrange it right away. When are you going? I'll book the tickets immediately. Don't bother. I can buy the tickets myself. Nowadays, the tickets could be booked at night. It was very convenient. Moreover, it was not a holiday, so it was easier to book the tickets. The flight time was in the morning in hike. Zhou Xiong and his father also booked the same flight as Wang Yao to Tsangzhou. Based on the current situation, Zhou Wukong's condition had improved significantly. However, his uncle's condition at home was worsening. They needed to go back and check on him. More importantly, Wang Yao went to Tsangzhou. There was no need for them to continue to stay in Lianshan City. They sat in the first-class cabin. There were not many people. Wang Yao's seat was good. It was by the window. He could see the scenery outside the plane. Along the way, he looked at the clouds outside. It was a pity that he did not see the giants walking in the clouds. There was no civilian airport in Tsangzhou. The plane landed in Jinmen, which was quite a distance from Tsangzhou. When they got off the plane, the Zhou family had already arranged everything. They were waiting outside. After getting into the car, they immediately rushed to Tsangzhou at full speed. The time needed for such a journey was actually not much different from the time needed to take a car from Hike to Tsangzhou. Dr. Wang, thank you for your hard work. This time, it was Zhouing who drove. It's okay, Wang Yao said. How is Uncle's illness? Just as I mentioned on the phone, Mr. Sang has already diagnosed him. If there is no better way, his meridians will shrink further. When that time comes, he will be completely disabled, Zhouing said. Zhou Xiong didn't say anything after hearing that. The atmosphere in the car was a little tense. Because he was in a hurry, he drove the car very fast. It had obviously exceeded the maximum speed limit of 120 kilometers, but he didn't care so much. Slow down, Wang Yao said softly. He could understand why the other party was anxious. After all, the person lying on the bed was his father. However, his breathing was a little chaotic. It was dangerous to drive so fast. In fact, when he overtook the other car just now, it was a little difficult. After all, he was not the only one in the car. I'm sorry. Zhou slowed down the car. 2 hours later, they arrived at Sangzhou. It was already noon. Dr. Wang, why don't we find a place to eat first? Zhou Xiong said. No need. Let's go directly to Sangzhou. It's more important to see a doctor first. Okay. In fact, Zhou Xiong and the others also had the same idea. After all, Wang Yao was a distinguished guest. They couldn't neglect him. After a short while, they arrived at the village. It was the same as before. The car pulled up outside the big house. Dr. Wang, please. In the bedroom, Zhou Wui was lying on the bed. He had regained consciousness, but his whole body was very thin. He was like a mummy. His eyes were dim. Dad, this is Dr. Wang. He saved you last time. Dr. Wang. His voice was hoarse and dry. It was like an old bellows. His lungs were damaged. However, after hearing his voice, Wang Yao knew that there was something wrong with his body. Of course, the damage was not as simple as his lungs. During this period of time, his body had been seriously damaged. He was almost at the end of his life. If Wang Yao hadn't given him the prolongation pill and regather soup, he probably wouldn't have been able to hold on until now. There was a special smell on his body. It was sour and worried. It was the result of the deterioration of his qi. It's very troublesome. Wang Yao knew the seriousness of the problem just by smelling and listening. Wang Yao came to the bed and sat down. He then checked Zhou Wui's pulse. In some aspects, Zhou Wui's condition was better than when he left last time. However, in most aspects, Zhou Wui's condition was worse than when he left last time. Seeing Wang Yao's serious face, Zhou Xiong and his brother knew that the situation was not very good. They also became worried. After Wang Yao's diagnosis, Zhou Xiong's father came in. How is it, Dr. Wang? Let's talk outside. Okay. They went to the living room. The situation is very bad. This was the first sentence Wang Yao said. I need a few herbs here. You guys hurry up and prepare them. Wang Yao took out a prescription. This time, it was not regather soup. It was another decoction with similar effects. However, most of the herbs were ordinary herbs. He had tried it on Wei Hai. The effect was not bad. Of course, it was not as magical as regather soup. I'll get it done right away. Zhou took the list and turned to leave. You've been rushing all the way here. Take a rest first. The meal is ready. They still ate at home, but the meal was very sumptuous. There were exotic delicacies, wine, and delicacies. At the dinner table, Zhou Xiong's father kept expressing his gratitude to Wang Yao. He knew that his brother's illness depended on the young man in front of him. After dinner, Wang Yao rested for a while. Zhou had already bought some of the herbs he needed. I need to check again. Wang Yao wanted to see the patient again. He just thought of something and needed to confirm it. Okay. This time, Wang Yao checked very carefully. Not only did he check the pulse, but he also checked the meridians in the whole body. As a result, a considerable number of the meridians in the body were either broken or in reverse. The situation was very serious. His illness was different from Zhou Xiong's son. Kang's illness was only a blockage of the meridians, which could be dredged. Zhou Xiong's meridians were equivalent to a broken river channel, which needed to be reconnected. This was not something that Wang Yao could do at the moment. After making a thorough diagnosis, Wang Yao returned to the room that he had prepared for him to consider the treatment plan. As expected, difficult and complicated diseases were not so easy to treat. During this period of time, he had come into contact with a few rare cases of difficult and complicated diseases, and there were different degrees of severity. For example, Secretary Yang's mother, the results of the treatment were good. Wei Hai's was also relatively mild, but there had been accidents. For the serious cases like Zhou Wui, there was no good way to treat him for the time being. Should I try the blood deblicking powder first? This was the only attempt that Wang Yao could make at the moment. He took out the blood deblicking powder and diluted it. Then, he went to the bedside and asked someone to give it to the patient. Then, he waited by the bed and checked the patient's pulse from time to time. This medicine was not only deblicking, but more importantly, strengthening. It could strengthen the tenacity and strength of the meridians. It was effective. Wang Yao decided to continue to give the medicine, but not in large quantities. Otherwise, not only would it not be able to treat the disease, but it would also have the opposite effect. Just as evening approached, Sang Guzi came to the village. "Young friend, long time no see." "Hello, Elder Sang," Wang Yao greeted respectfully. "We meet again, young friend." Sang Guzi seemed to be in a good mood. There was a kind smile on his face. "Uncle Sang." "Yes." They came to the living room. "Is your father's illness getting better?" Sang Guzi asked. "It's not very optimistic. Dr. Wang just took the medicine this afternoon. It will take a while to see the effect of the treatment," Zhouing said. "Young friend, do you have a good treatment method?" Sang Guzi looked at Wang Yao and asked. "Not at the moment, but I can only try," Wang Yao answered truthfully. "Okay." Sang Guzi nodded. In his opinion, Zhou Wui, who was lying on the hospital bed, was terminally ill. There was no way to cure him. The meridians in his body were in a mess. Unless there was a legendary elixir, there was no way to cure him. Of course, there was the possibility of a miracle. Last time, this young man pulled a dying man back from the brink of death. That scene was still fresh in his memory. "I went to Qi province a while ago." Sang Guzi suddenly brought up this matter. "Oh! I went to Dao City to see a strange patient." "Dao City?" Wang Yao was a little more concerned after hearing that. "This patient has extreme Yang syndrome," Sang Guzi said. As soon as Sang Guzi mentioned this symptom, Wang Yao guessed who the patient was. "That person's surname is Sun?" Sang Guzi was slightly surprised. "You have seen that patient?" "Yes, I have," Wang Yao said with a smile. "How is it?" Sang Guzi naturally asked about the patient's condition. "Just like Mr. Zhou in the room, it is extremely difficult to treat," Wang Yao said. "Well, over the years, I have seen some strange diseases, but it is the first time I have seen such a strange disease. It is a miracle that he can live until now." "You didn't treat him before, did you?" Sang Guzi asked. "No, although I have seen him, I did not treat him." The Zhou family invited old Master Sang to stay for a meal. In fact, Mr. Sang lived nearby and was considered a family friend of the Zhou family. He was also a person with extraordinary medical ethic. Therefore, he was so attentive. After dinner, Wang Yao went to see Zhou Wui again. He checked his pulse and the condition of his body to confirm the effect of the blood deblicking powder. Zhouing had prepared all the medicine he needed in the evening. He even prepared the utensils needed to decoct the medicine. "I can decoct the medicine tomorrow morning." That night, some people came to the Zhou family's house. They were some relatives. Logically speaking, there was no need to visit a patient at night because it was inauspicious. They must have come for something urgent. Wang Yao even heard a noise. It seemed that someone was arguing next door. Chapter 212. His hearing was extraordinary. It was just a few windows and a wall. He could hear the conversation clearly as long as he wanted to. In fact, he could hear some things even if he didn't want to. With his current level of cultivation, he still couldn't reach the state of not seeing and not hearing. "It's just family talk." Wang Yao suddenly thought of these words. Through some of the conversation, he vaguely guessed that this was an internal matter of the Zhou family. Later, Wang Yao began to classify and weigh the herbs prepared by Zhouing during the day. He was ready to decoct the herbs the next day. Just as he was busy, the sound of a woman crying suddenly came from outside. After a while, it stopped abruptly. Then, there was the sound of hurried footsteps of several people leaving. The night gradually deepened. Wang Yao sat cross-legged on the bed and guided Qi to cultivate. Suddenly, there was a strange sound on the roof. It seemed that something was moving on the roof. Wang Yao raised his head to look. Could it be such a coincidence? Who is it? There was a shout from outside. Click, click. The sound on the roof became denser. It seemed that something was on the roof again. Then, there was a faint sound of someone groaning. Wang Yao stayed quietly in the room. After a while, there was a knock on the door. Dr. Wang. It was Zhou Xiong's voice. What's the matter? Are you okay? Wang Yao got up, turned on the light, and opened the door. I'm fine. What's wrong? There was an intruder in the yard just now. It's good that you're fine. I'm sorry. Zhou Xiong naturally had to apologize for something like this happening in his own territory. Last time, when they were ambushed outside the village, Wang Yao and Sanguzi were in danger. This made them feel very sorry. They didn't expect that something like this would happen again tonight. It's fine. Wang Yao smiled and went back into the room to rest. This is the so-called Jianghu, the so-called knife light, the so-called hatred, love and hatred? That night, the village was bustling with activity. Someone had barged in with ill intentions. This was a provocation to their village. The man was injured by Zhou Xiong's father on the roof, so he couldn't run far. At around 1 o'clock in the morning, he was found in a remote corner of the village. The Zhou family didn't rush to call the police. Instead, they used their unique method to get the information they wanted from this person before sending him to the Public Security Bureau. At night, in a house somewhere in the village, several old men in their 60s and 70s gathered together. One of them was Zhou Xiong's father. Some people are getting more and more outrageous. We were too soft-hearted. We have to use the knife and see some blood. Yes. Early in the morning, the sun was shining brightly. After breakfast, Wang Yao first went to Zhou Wui's room to check on him. After confirming that his condition was stable and that the blood deblocking powder he took the day before had a certain effect, he started a fire in the house to decoct medicine for Zhou Wui. Sanguzi woke up very early and came to the courtyard early. When he saw Wang Yao decocting medicine, he walked over with a smile. Good morning, young friend. Good morning, Wang Yao replied with a smile. What medicine are you decocting? It's a medicine to consolidate the corporeity. Sanguzi nodded with a smile. He stood to the side and watched with interest as Wang Yao decocted the medicine. Sir, I'll give you a stool. Thank you. The old man and the young man, one decocting the medicine, the other watching. It was quite interesting. Young friend, who taught you this method of decocting medicine? Sanguzi asked curiously after watching for a while. He hadn't seen such a method of decocting medicine for a long time. Wang Yao smiled and pointed to the sky. Sanguzi was stunned. The gods in the sky taught me a wonderful method, Wang Yao replied with a smile. Sanguzi laughed and didn't ask any more questions. The sun was shining brightly in the sky. The medicine had been decocted for a long time. Wang Yao moved the pot to the side and waited for the medicine to cool down. I'll go in and have a look. Please go ahead. Sanguzi got up and went into the room. He took the pulse of his old friend lying on the hospital bed. Yes, he had already noticed something strange with the first one. The condition of his old friend lying on the hospital bed was obviously better than the last time he came. Needless to say, this must be because of the miraculous change brought by Dr. Wang. Medicine? What medicine did he use? Sanguzi was getting more and more surprised and curious. It was not an exaggeration to say that Wang Yao was able to save a dying person. It was not too exaggerated to say that Wang Yao's medical skills were godly. How is it, Brother Sang? Zhou Xiong's father walked into the room. Not bad. He is changing in a good direction. This Dr. Wang is amazing. I admire him. To be able to make a famous doctor who had been practicing medicine for decades, Wang Yao's ability was definitely extraordinary. To borrow a phrase, why was a god called a god? It was because he could do things that ordinary people could not do. Maybe the young man can really cure his illness, Sanguzi said with a smile. The medicine is ready. Wang Yao carried the medicine that was still warm into the room. Give it to him. Okay. Zhou Ying took the medicine and gave it to his father, who was lying on the bed, according to Wang Yao's instructions. Get up. The people next to the hospital bed moved aside. Wang Yao came to the bedside and checked his father's pulse. Then, he took off his father's loose clothes. Then, he gently massaged along the direction of the meridians. When he reached certain places, he would stop and either press or push. What is this? Sanguzi looked at the two white eyebrows and frowned slightly. Massage. It doesn't look like it. Chibwa scripture? Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He seemed to have thought of something. It shouldn't be. That's something that has been lost for a long time. The treatment of his father's chest and back took more than 2 hours. Wang Yao was very careful. This was a treatment process and also a process of thoroughly familiarizing himself with the patient's condition. During the massage, he had a better understanding of the patient's injured meridians. Those could be solved by dredging. Those could be corrected by massage. Those were very serious and could not be treated for the time being. As the treatment progressed, a relatively complete meridian diagram of the body appeared in Wang Yao's mind. These meridians were not intact. A considerable number of them were either broken, disordered, or blocked. First the main, then the secondary. First, the meridians were cleared, then corrected, and finally repaired. Such a treatment plan appeared in Wang Yao's mind. The clogged meridians could be dredged using the blood deblicking powder. The messy meridians could be straightened and returned to normal using the method of massage. However, it was only limited to a part of the meridians, and the treatment time would be relatively long. The other broken meridians were not something he could treat now. After the treatment in the morning, Wang Yao returned to his room and recorded the treatment plan he had thought of. After thinking for a while, he roughly communicated with the Zhou family about the treatment plan. Then, I'll have to trouble Dr. Wang. This was the answer from Zhou Xiong's father. His words basically represented the attitude of the Zhou family. I'll try my best, Wang Yao said. I don't think your father has completely understood what I mean. In the courtyard, Wang Yao said to Zhou Xiong. What do you mean? Zhou Xiong was stunned. Your uncle's illness can't be cured in a day or two, and I can't stay here for too long, Wang Yao said very straightforwardly. Oh, this matter, I'll talk to my father about it, Zhou Xiong immediately said. In the afternoon, Sanguzi returned to Cangzhou, which was not far from here, for some matters. He had a guest to visit and was waiting in the clinic. This was the original words of his disciple. What guest? Sanguzi originally wanted to stay in Zhou village for a while longer to have a good chat with the young friend from Qi province. There were too many miraculous things about the young man that made him, an old man who had seen a lot of things, unable to help but want to find out more. In the city of Cangzhou, there was a very famous traditional Chinese medicine clinic. This clinic used to be the place where old Dr. Sang practiced medicine. However, when he got older, he passed it on to his disciple. It was not his son, but his disciple. Although his children also practiced medicine, they did not stay in Cangzhou. Instead, they stayed in other places. Chapter 213. When he arrived at the clinic, he saw an unexpected person. Mr. Sun. This man was the man with an extraordinary identity whom he had met in Dao City. His son's strange illness had also surprised him and rendered him helpless. "Hello, Mr. Sang," Mr. Sun said with a smile. "I was passing by your place and came to visit." "Welcome," Sang Guzi said with a smile. "I passed by Tsangzhou this time and came to visit you. In fact, I have something to ask you," Mr. Sun said. "Please go ahead." "It's about my son's illness." The man's voice was slightly low. "Sorry, I can't do anything," Sang Guzi said. "Do you know other people with extraordinary medical skills?" "Well, I'm afraid you know all the people I know. You also know those I don't know," Sang Guzi said with a smile. In fact, he immediately thought of one person. That person was Wang Yao, who was in the village not far away. He had seen the magical medical skills of the young man twice. Since he could almost reverse life and death, there might be a good way to treat the extreme yang disease. However, he hadn't asked Wang Yao about this before, so he didn't know Wang Yao's attitude. When he was talking with the Zhou family, he already knew that Wang Yao had seen the illness of the young master of the Sun family, but he didn't know why he didn't treat him. The masters are among the people. If there is really a capable person in this area, I hope you can give me some advice. Mr. Sun's attitude was very humble. "If there is, I will let you know." "Okay, thank you." Mr. Sun smiled. "Sorry to disturb you. Goodbye." He just sat for a while. After saying a few words to Sang Guzi, he hurriedly left. "Ruhua, what's the matter?" Sang Guzi asked the disciple next to him. This disciple had been with him for at least 20 years. He should be very familiar with Sang Guzi's temperament. Sang Guzi was not willing to meet these high-ranking officials and nobles. The last time he went to Dao City, it was because a friend had asked him to. Based on past experience, when faced with such a situation, his disciple would immediately decline the matter. "Xiao Tang is in Dao," his disciple said softly. "I'm sorry, master." "Forget it." Sang Guzi waved his hand. As a parent, he naturally had his own difficulties. This Mr. Sun is really well informed and resourceful. "By the way, master, he also gave you a gift." "Gift? What gift?" Sang Guzi was surprised. "Here." Looking in the direction the disciple was pointing, they saw a root carving of a person. It was an old man, carrying a medicine basket and leaning on a wooden staff. The carving was very exquisite and lifelike. It looked quite old and was an antique. Medicine King Sun Simiao. As soon as he saw the statue, Sang Guzi recognized who it was. He stepped forward and took a closer look. Boxwood, the wood used for this wood carving, was actually the extremely rare boxwood. "Good stuff," Sang Guzi exclaimed. This gift was not light at all. In addition to his superb medical skills, very few people knew that Mr. Sang had a special hobby. He liked wood carving and antique. The gift in front of Sang Guzi was a combination of both. Moreover, the carving task was to carve a grandmaster of medicine. It was even more rare. It seems that I have to find time to ask that young friend. In one day, he took 2 kinds of decoctions. There was an effect, but it was not particularly obvious. Wang Yao was already mentally prepared for this. After all, this was a difficult disease, not a cold. "How do you feel?" The most direct way to judge the effect of treatment was to ask the patient how he felt. "A lot better." His voice was still a little hoarse. "Where is it better?" Wang Yao asked. "Back and abdomen." Zhou Wui, who was lying in bed, said these 2 places. "It is consistent with the results of the diagnosis." Wang Yao nodded. In the evening, he still gave Zhou Wui 2 decoctions, the blood deblicking powder and the decoction to strengthen the corporeity. He continued to massage the torso and abdomen to accelerate the absorption of the decoction and dredge the meridians. He tried to straighten out the deviated meridians with external force and special skills. This process was somewhat similar to bone setting, but there was a difference between meridians and bones. The meridians were hidden in the muscles of the body and could not be accurately felt by touch. If one wanted to identify and determine their exact location, The best way was to use the most advanced medical equipment. Bones, on the other hand, could be clearly touched. Therefore, it was easy to reconnect broken bones, but meridians were much more troublesome. After the treatment, Wang Yao was ready to go back to his room to rest. Zhou Xiong followed him out. "Dr. Wang, I have something to tell you." "What is it?" The two of them went to the courtyard. There was no one else except for them. "How long do you plan to stay here this time?" "It depends on the situation, but I definitely won't stay for too long," Wang Yao said. "I know that. Don't you have a general time?" Zhou Xiong said. He asked this question because of his father's request. "There will be a result in 3 days." "Okay, thank you." The night passed very peacefully. There were no external disturbances. The next morning, something that surprised or pleasantly surprised the Zhou family happened. Zhou Wui, who was lying on the hospital bed, could move his hands. Ever since he woke up last time, other than being able to speak and feel, his body could not move normally. He was similar to a paralyzed patient. However, when he woke up this morning, he could move his hand. To be precise, his fingers could move slightly. This was a very good sign. Then, his family hurriedly invited Wang Yao, who had just woken up, over. Wang Yao looked at him and smiled. The meridians were cleared, so the parts that should be moved should also be able to move. Moving his fingers was only the first step. After that, his arms and legs would move. However, to what extent he could recover, it would depend on his own luck. Being able to move his arms, he could still do various movements nimbly. He could even throw a punch or two. Being able to move his legs, he could still run and use the expeditious step. These were two completely different things. Not bad. This is a good sign, Wang Yao said after the diagnosis. This was the most direct effect of the blood deblicking powder. Thank you. This was the 4th time Zhou Ying expressed his gratitude in the morning. This was a filial son. Wang Yao could also see his concern for his father. Oh my God! Sanguzi came to the Zhou family in the morning. When he saw his old friend moving his arms, he could not help but say these 2 words. "What a brilliant method!" he exclaimed. He wanted to ask Wang Yao what kind of medicine he used, but he held back. Some of the blocked meridians have been cleared. This was the result Sanguzi got after checking Zhou Wui's body. It had only been a little more than a day. How did this happen? He wanted to know. 2 doses of medicine and a massage. This was the answer given to him by the Zhou family. My young friend, such brilliant medical skills. Sanguzi's praise made Wang Yao feel a little embarrassed. You flatter me. I still have a lot to learn. What he said was the truth. You are too modest, young man. In Sanguzi's opinion, this was indeed his humble words. In fact, in Wang Yao's opinion, there were too many things he needed to learn. He had only learned 3 of the 4 methods of diagnosis: looking, listening, questioning, and feeling the pulse. Among them, he had not learned the most mysterious and magical method of diagnosis: looking. He also did not know the acupuncture in Chinese medicine. There were still too many things he needed to learn about those magical licorice roots and miraculous prescriptions. Can I have a word with you? Sanguzi and Wang Yao came to the courtyard. I want to hear your opinion on something. Go ahead. I mentioned Sun Jingrong to you yesterday. You should remember him. Yes, his son has extreme Yang syndrome, Wang Yao said. That's right. So you have already seen the father and son? Sanguzi asked. This was the same as his previous guess. I have indeed seen him. I also diagnosed his son, Wang Yao said with a smile. Why didn't you treat him? I had no choice at that time. Mr. Sun did not seem to trust a young man like me, Wang Yao explained. Chapter 214. Sanguzi smiled when he heard that. Being young was sometimes an asset, but sometimes it was not enough. If you have the chance, will you treat his son again? asked Sanguzi. We'll see, said Wang Yao. Wang Yao had a lot of things to do now. He needed to solve them one by one. He knew that he should not bite off more than he could chew. I met Mr. Sun not long ago, said Sanguzi. Oh! Wang Yao was surprised. Last night, said Sanguzi. Wang Yao nodded and did not say anything. After a simple conversation with Wang Yao, Sanguzi already knew Wang Yao's attitude on this matter, so he didn't say anything more. In the morning, Wang Yao went to see Zhou Wui again. After confirming that Zhou Wui's condition was improving, he started to think about leaving. After all, the whole treatment process was quite long. Zhou Wui needed to take medicine continuously. However, he had to consider a very bad thing. The disordered and broken meridians might gradually shrink due to the lack of effective treatment. In fact, this was already happening. Once these meridians shrank to a certain extent, they could no longer be treated and restored. It was like a tree that withered to a certain extent and died completely. With Wang Yao's current ability, he could not think of a suitable way to connect these broken meridians. He told the Zhou family the truth about this matter. For this reason, the Zhou family specially invited Sanguzi, who was ready to leave. Can the two of you treat him together? This was the idea proposed by Zhou Xiong's father. In fact, they had already treated him together once. Wang Yao's medicine and Sanguzi's acupuncture had a good effect. Let's talk first, Wang Yao said. Okay. After lunch, Wang Yao and Sanguzi talked in the room for the whole afternoon. This was the first time the old man and the young man talked about Zhou Wui's condition for such a long time. Wang Yao and Sanguzi both thought about it. However, for some reason, they did not speak first. It was just a matter of a sentence. There was a square table with 2 cups of tea and 2 people sitting across from each other. I can dredge those blocked channels and collaterals with medicine, Wang Yao said. I can also straighten some of the messy channels and collaterals with external force, but I can't connect those broken channels and collaterals. Impressive, Sanguzi said. He had no confidence in either of the 2 aspects that Wang Yao mentioned. If he did, he wouldn't have let his old friend drag things out like this. I can stimulate the meridians through acupuncture, but I can't straighten them, nor can I regenerate them. Sanguzi was equally helpless when faced with a problem that Wang Yao could not solve. Then let's determine which meridians are broken first. Alright. These meridians were already imprinted in Wang Yao's mind, so he took out a pen and paper and wrote down the names of the meridians. He even wrote down the specific locations very clearly. You saw through this long ago? Sanguzi asked in surprise as he took what Wang Yao had written down. Yesterday. Sanguzi looked at it carefully. Are you sure about these? He pointed at a few of the meridians. These meridians were very small and could be considered as side branches. I'm sure, Wang Yao replied with a smile. After several treatments, Wang Yao discovered another special function of massage, which was to thoroughly determine the condition of the patient's qi and blood flow. The focus of massage was the meridians and acupoints. The meridians were the main trunk, and the acupoints were the node. Through them, he could determine the condition of the qi and blood flow in the human body system to determine which parts were normal and which parts had diseases. This medical skill could not only treat diseases, but also diagnose diseases. It was a process that complemented each other. I can only determine this. Sanguzi made a mark on some of the meridians. At his age, he had already seen through everything. Some illnesses could not be seen, could not be diagnosed, and was not as skilled as others, so he would admit it without hesitation. He was not like some people who pretended to understand. They obviously did not understand, but still pretended to understand. The most taboo in doing things was to pretend to understand. This was especially true in the medical field because it concerned the health of the patient and even the life and death of the patient. Although they had found the meridians, they could not treat them. This was a difficult problem in front of them. Since they could not overcome it for the time being, they might as well put it aside for now. Sanguzi and Wang Yao talked about other things. Most of them were his experiences in treating patients. Of course, many of them were strange diseases. These things were very rare for Wang Yao. After all, in the apricot forest, most people liked to keep things to themselves and did not like to communicate. This was also one of the reasons why Chinese medicine was declining. Wang Yao listened very carefully throughout the whole process. In the afternoon, when the sun had set, the conversation between the two of them came to an end and they rested for a while. Thank you. Wang Yao stood up and bowed respectfully. He did not know why Sanguzi suddenly told him these things. This was the most precious thing for a doctor, a famous doctor. It was his life's pride and capital. Haha, I'm old. Some things are hidden in my stomach. I don't mind telling you. I hope it will be useful to you, Sanguzi said. What he talked about was his experience. He had only talked about it to his 2 disciples and 1 son. The reason why he talked about it today was that he saw something in Wang Yao, something shining. He saw the possibility and hope of carrying forward the declining quintessence of the nation to a new height. I think you can actually publish a medical book, Wang Yao said. Publish a book? Sanguzi's eyes lit up. In fact, he had thought about it a few years ago. Later, as time passed, he put it down. Life was like this. If you wanted to do something, you had to hurry up and do it while you still had the idea and the experience. Once you put down some ideas and things, you did not know how many years it would take to pick them up again. During this time, you did not know what kind of changes would happen. About 7 or 8 years ago, I did think about it. Your experience is so precious. It should be passed down, Wang Yao said sincerely. Let this old man think about it, Sanguzi said with a smile. Since you have said so much, I'll talk about it too. Wang Yao said with a smile. There were some things that he wanted to talk about, but he did not find the right person. After all, there were not many people who were as virtuous as the person in front of him. Okay, Sanguzi said with a smile. Wang Yao then talked about some things. The most ancient things, the 4 methods of diagnosis, except for the last one, observation. Sanguzi's eyes lit up as he listened. He was so excited that his body trembled slightly. Wang Yao talked for a while until the sky outside was completely dark. Knock, knock, knock. A soft knock on the door interrupted him. Mr. Sang, Dr. Wang, dinner is ready. Zhou Xiong's voice came from outside. We'll be right there, Sanguzi said. Okay. My young friend, the things you talked about are amazing, Sanguzi said with emotion. Some of the things that Wang Yao talked about had been lost for a long time. They might even be lost forever. They have been lost for too long. I really don't know where you learned all this from. It was a gift from heaven, Wang Yao said with a smile. Sanguzi only smiled when he heard that, but he took it as a joke. I've decided to write a book. If you don't mind, I'll record everything you said today and write your name in it, Sanguzi said. When he heard some of the things that Wang Yao talked about, he immediately realized that since these things had appeared, they must not be allowed to disappear. He could give up his life's experience and let it disappear, but these essences, the essence of medicine, could not be lost in time. My name? Forget it. No. Sanguzi's tone was unprecedentedly firm. If you really want to write it, write another name. What name? Pharmacist, Wang Yao said calmly. Pharmacist? An ancient pharmacist? Sanguzi asked. Yes. A great pharmacist can cure all kinds of diseases, Sanguzi said. Sanguzi said. As he spoke, the look in his eyes changed. It was as if his thoughts had drifted far away. Are you from the King Pharmacist's bloodline? King Pharmacist? No. Wang Yao was stunned. He did not know about the King Pharmacist's bloodline before. The more they talked, the more they got along. It was as if they regretted not having met earlier. We could have talked earlier, Sanguzi said with a sigh. Yes. Wang Yao had the same feeling. If everyone could sit down and talk like you and me, even if it was just a small part of the conversation, our medical skills would not have declined to this point, Sanguzi said with a sigh. They chatted for a while until Zhou Xiong came to invite them again. They ended the very meaningful conversation. It might even change the course of the conversation. The dinner prepared by the Zhou family was light, but it was still very sumptuous. After dinner, Wang Yao and Sanguzi discussed the treatment plan with Zhou Xiong's father and Zhou Ying. What about those shrunken meridians? We haven't thought of a treatment plan yet, Wang Yao said. That's all for now. Thank you, Mr. Sang and Dr. Wang, Zhou Xiong's father said. These treatment methods were thought up by Dr. Wang, Sanguzi said. He did not take credit or shirk responsibility. I will prepare the decoction and teach you some simple massage techniques, Wang Yao said. The Zhou family practiced martial arts, so they were very familiar with the meridians and acupoints of the human body. Therefore, it should be relatively easy to learn the massage technique. Okay. The Zhou family already knew that Wang Yao could not stay there for too long. At night, Wang Yao took the decoction again. After taking the decoction, he continued to massage Zhou Xiong. He straightened out his qi and blood and checked the recovery of his body. Chapter 2:15. That was not all. After his treatment, it was Sanguzi's turn. His treatment method was also very special. Acupuncture with silver needles. Acupuncture could also unblock the channels and collaterals. At the same time, he could also use this method to determine the patient's condition. This was somewhat similar to Wang Yao's massage method, but it was not as accurate. The treatment process did not end after Wang Yao inserted the silver needles into the acupoints. He began to massage the palace of blood again. This was the treatment method that the two of them had come up with in the afternoon. There were two main purposes. One was to speed up the absorption of the medicine and enhance the effect of the medicine. The other was to stimulate the patient's body so that he could speed up the recovery of the disease through self-repair and adjustment. For the broken meridians, they did not have a good method, but Wang Yao proposed an idea. Was it possible to stimulate the patient's body so that he could recover a part of himself? The human body had a strong self-correcting and healing ability. Some fractures and injuries would heal by themselves even if they were not treated. However, the self-correcting and healing ability of the human body was the strongest in childhood. As the age increased, it gradually weakened. When the human body was at its worst, all the functions of the human body began to decline. Zhou Wui's situation was such. His body was already very weak, and his self-healing ability was limited. However, before there was a better method, they could only give it a try. What if it was effective? Thus, they came up with the joint treatment this time. As for the effect, it would take some time to see. After a round of treatment, both of them consumed a lot of mental energy. Wang Yao was better. He was young and had extraordinary qualities. Moreover, he had practiced cultivation, so this fatigue was nothing. However, Sanguzi could not bear it. First of all, he was old. As he was old, his spirit was weaker. Moreover, acupuncture itself required extreme concentration to identify the acupoints. Especially at night after the treatment, he looked very tired. Elder Sang, you should rest early. Well, I have to admit that I'm old. Sanguzi sighed. After hearing this, the people of the Zhou family hurriedly sent the old man to rest. Wang Yao, Zhou Ying, and Zhou Xiong were left in the room. After waiting for about half an hour, Wang Yao carefully checked Sanguzi's pulse. Sure enough, it was effective. Leave someone here to accompany her tonight. If there are any problems, inform me immediately. Wang Yao did not forget to remind him before he left. All right. The night passed uneventfully. In the morning, after washing up, Wang Yao went to the ward. After taking her pulse, he could confirm that the combined treatment of the two people was effective. It was better than his treatment alone. When he went down to eat, Sanguzi also came to check Zhou pulse. Not bad. He nodded and smiled. It was a good thing that it was effective. The people of the Zhou family were very happy, but the fact that Wang Yao was going to leave didn't make them happy. If Dr. Wang leaves, how will the treatment be carried out? Will Elder Sang be able to do it alone? Why don't you ask Zhou Xiong to persuade him? That's right. No matter what the conditions are, we can agree to them. In a room of the Zhou family, several people of the Zhou family were discussing this matter. The person sitting at the head of the table was Zhou Xiong's father, Zhou Wuxing. After a long silence, he said, I also want him to stay. However, the fact that he came all the way here to treat Big Brother is already a great debt of gratitude. We can't force him to stay. This was his attitude and also his final decision. The people of the Zhou family had other thoughts, but they didn't say anything. In the afternoon of the next day, Wang Yao called Zhou Xiong over. I'm going to teach you a simple massage technique. Go and ask the old man who wants to learn it. Okay. Zhou Xiong didn't dare to delay. He hurried to find his father. Zhou Wuxing came in person after hearing the words. Wang Yao had a request. The massage technique couldn't be taught to outsiders. It was not that the technique was precious, but there was a certain risk in it. If one didn't know the arteries and veins and didn't know how to identify the acupoints, there might be a certain risk in using it without permission. Don't think that massage is risk-free. You two brothers can learn it. In the end, it was decided that the brothers Zhou Xiong and Zhou Ying would learn the massage technique. Wang Yao explained it in detail and demonstrated it on the spot. He demonstrated it on Zhou Wui. Mr. Sang was also present. He knew that the knowledge hidden in the massage was extensive and profound, but he wasn't proficient in it. He just watched from the side and learned some things. The two brothers learned very carefully and listened very carefully. Wang Yao picked the important parts to explain. After all, this patient's situation was a little special. If he explained too much, they might not be able to remember it. After the afternoon, it was night time. The purpose of the repeated explanation was to deepen the impression. In the afternoon, he had a discussion with Sanguzi. They had basically decided on the treatment plan for Zhou Wui after he left. The medicine was to use the medicine left by Wang Yao, the blood deblinking powder and the medicine to consolidate the corporeity. The method of massage was to be in charge of the Zhou brothers, and the acupuncture was to be done by Sanguzi. His family was in Sangzhou, and they wouldn't spread it out in a short period of time. It was best to stay and continue the treatment. With him, it was equivalent to having an extra layer of insurance. Do you all remember what I said? I've almost memorized it. Okay, you guys do it tomorrow. I'll watch from the side, Wang Yao said after listening. Okay. At night, Wang Yao stood in the courtyard and looked at the quiet sky. I've been here for 3 days. In fact, he wasn't a person who liked to wander around. He liked to stay at home and on Nanshan Hill. In such a foreign place, no matter how good the other party's hospitality was, he still felt strange and not used to it. This was the difference between home and other places. The next morning, after taking the medicine, Zhou Xiong first massaged according to the method described by Wang Yao, then followed by Zhou Xiong. Wang Yao stood aside and pointed out a few shortcomings. They did it again in the afternoon. In fact, according to his and Sanguzi's previous discussion, this joint treatment process didn't need to be so frequent. Once a day was enough. After a day of practice, the two of them had basically mastered the method. Wang Yao also taught this method to Sanguzi. Although this old man was not good at massage, his understanding of acupoints and meridians was far better than Zhou Xiong and Zhou Ying. Wang Yao left on the 5th day. Originally, the Zhou family had arranged a car to send him directly back to Lianshan County, but he insisted on going back by himself. They had no choice but to send him to Jinmen Airport. He arrived in the morning, but the flight was in the afternoon. There were still a few hours to go. It was a bit boring to stay at the airport, so Wang Yao decided to go out for a walk. When he arrived at the airport gate, he was unexpectedly stopped by a monk. The monk looked to be in his 60s. He was wearing an ordinary monk's robe and had a kind face. His eyes stared at Wang Yao as if he had seen a rare treasure. Ba, good fortune and cultivation in the house. Master, what do you mean? Wang Yao asked with a smile. Almsgiver, are you willing to join Buddhism? The monk's words stunned Wang Yao. Haha, I'm not willing. He directly refused. What a pity, what a pity. The monk shook his head. Almsgiver, don't waste your supernatural powers. Supernatural powers. Hearing these two words, Wang Yao was stunned again. He thought to himself, could this monk really have some ability to see my powers? If you join Buddhism, you will be a guardian Vajra. Guardian Vajra? I don't have that ability, Wang Yao said with a smile. Almsgiver, you are too modest. You can refine energy into qi at such a young age. Is this a wonderful Taoist method? What do you mean by refining energy into qi? The more you talk about it, the more mysterious it is. Wang Yao was not prepared to continue to be entangled with the monk in front of him. Ba, we will meet again if fate allows. Goodbye. Wang Yao left the airport and walked around nearby. He found that there was no place to go nearby. He had to go back to the airport terminal and wait patiently. Finally, it was time to board the plane. After boarding the plane, Wang Yao understood what the monk meant when he met him at the airport. Chapter 216. When he walked into the cabin, he realized that the monk had boarded the plane earlier than him and was on the same flight as him. Coincidentally, their seats were also very close to each other. There was only an aisle between the two of them. Almsgiver, you are indeed fated with Buddha, the monk said with a smile. Even if I am fated with you, are you Buddha? Wang Yao sat down with a smile. Yes, the monk replied without hesitation. Oh! Wang Yao was stunned. Aren't you afraid of being scolded by Buddha? Buddha said that all living beings are Buddhas, the monk said with a smile. You are eloquent, Wang Yao said. Almsgiver, you flatter me. The plane was ready to take off. Wang Yao stopped talking to the monk and sat quietly in his seat. With a whistling sound, the plane rose into the sky and soared into the clouds. Almsgiver, do you live in Hike? The monk asked after the plane stabilized. Yes, Wang Yao replied. I am going to Fulai Temple. Are you interested in taking a look? I have been there before. Not interested. Wang Yao had heard of this place but had never been there. It was not a famous place. However, his wishes in the temple were quite effective. The monk smiled after hearing that. You seem to be very rich, Wang Yao said with a smile. Do you get paid? Yes. How much? A little more than 10,000 a month, the monk said with a smile. Meditation, scripture recitation, more than 10,000 a month. How easy. Wang Yao sighed. Money is just a worldly possession, the monk said. Why did you become a monk? It was because of fate, the monk said. Fate? Monk, you're so unrealistic. You're so confused and full of tricks, Wang Yao said with a smile. After a moment of silence, the monk said, I almost starved to death when I was fleeing. I was saved by a monk in a temple, so I became a monk. Then you were forced to become a monk. Is it good? Of course it's good. After leaving the boundless secular world and jumping out of the sea of bitterness of the secular world, one's body will be free of worries, the monk said with a smile. Look at how skinny you are. You don't eat well, right? The more they talked, the more Wang Yao felt that this monk was too good at fooling people. His words were full of sharp points, so he decided to talk nonsense with him. The vegetarian dishes in the temple are pretty good? Can monks eat meat? If your cultivation level is not high enough, you can't eat it, the monk said. Do monks drink wine? If your cultivation is not high enough, you can't drink it. What a pity, Wang Yao said with a smile. No meat makes one thin, no wine makes one angry. Monk, you're afraid you'll get addicted to it, right? A middle-aged man who was listening to their conversation interrupted with a smile. Yes. This time, the monk agreed honestly. Don't Buddhists say that wine and meat pass through the intestines, but the Buddha's heart remains? It's okay to eat and drink a little, right? Wang Yao said. If your cultivation level is high enough, of course it's okay. If your cultivation level is not high enough, you'll be easily attracted by those temptations, breaking your Zen mind and damaging your cultivation. Have you ever been tempted by the secular world? Yes, more than once. Wang Yao smiled and stopped talking. The monk closed his eyes and twirled the prayer beads with both hands. The conversation came to an abrupt end. In just a few hours, the plane arrived at Hike City Airport and landed. Wang Yao did not tell anyone, so he wanted to go back alone. At the airport exit there was a car waiting for the monk. Holy sh*t, since when can a monk get into a private car? The people at the side were dumbfounded. Benefactor, we'll meet again if fate allows, the monk said to Wang Yao. You're so rich, Wang Yao said with a smile. The old monk smiled and got into the car. The car left quickly. Wang Yao went to the nearby bus station alone and took the bus home. Going out in first class and getting a car to pick me up after I get off the plane. Since when are monks so rich? Wang Yao was puzzled. The bus did not go very fast, especially when it passed through Hike City. The bus was a bit old. The seat covers on the bus had not been changed for a long time. They were yellow. At this time, there were not many people returning to Lianshan from Hike. More than half of the seats on the bus were empty. Cough, cough, cough. Suddenly, there was a coughing sound in the car. It was an old man who was coughing so badly that he couldn't stop coughing. It was as if he was going to cough his lungs out. The few people in the bus were attracted to the old man. He's very sick. Just by listening to the cough, Wang Yao knew that the old man was sick. It was quite serious and needed treatment. Sir, are you okay? The young man driving the bus was very warm-hearted. He hurriedly asked. I'm fine. Cough, cough, cough. He did not look fine. Sir, do you want to go to the hospital first? No, you can go directly, the old man said. The bus was about to leave Hike City. Cough, cough, cough. The old man coughed a few times and then vomited. The bus was full of the sour smell and the smell of blood. What he vomited was not only the undigested food in his stomach but also blood, sticky blood. Squeak. The driver stepped on the brakes and turned the steering wheel. The bus turned around and drove toward the city. Hey, where are you going? Someone in the bus immediately asked. Nonsense. Of course, I'm going to the hospital, the young man driving the bus said loudly. I'm in a hurry to go home. Then jump out of the bus, the young driver said. Ha ha. Wang Yao laughed. He was actually a warm-hearted and bad-tempered person. The bus was driving very fast. It was relatively troublesome for a large bus to pass through the city. Unexpectedly, the young man's driving skills were quite good. He was like a big loach in the traffic. The bus arrived at the nearest Hike People's Hospital at the fastest speed. The old man in the bus couldn't stand it anymore. He collapsed on the chair. The bus drove directly into the hospital, which was a relatively rare thing. The response of the city hospital was very fast. The emergency doctor quickly received the old man. This was much better than the hospital in the county. The efficiency was high and the attitude was good. No wonder people who are rich are willing to go to a higher-level hospital to see a doctor. The young driver had no idea how much trouble he had caused himself just now. He was happily smoking his cigarette. "Aren't you afraid of being scammed?" "Scammed?" "There are cameras in the bus," the young man said indifferently. After this matter was solved, the group got back on the bus and began their journey to Lianshan County. Wang Yao was very curious. Where did this young man's courage come from? It should be known that in today's society, when people fell on the street, no one rushed to help. This young man's behavior was simply rare. If this situation had happened to Wang Yao, perhaps he wouldn't have been so straightforward. After experiencing so much, some things become hesitant. Sitting in the bus, Wang Yao listened to the driver humming some songs that he didn't understand. Wang Yao smiled. This young man was happy and straightforward. The patient's condition is not stable. Do a CT scan immediately, focus on the lungs. At this time, the emergency room of the city hospital was busy. The patient they had just received suddenly deteriorated. I hope the old man will be fine. Wang Yao looked at the low houses on both sides of the window of the bus. About an hour and a half later, the bus arrived at Lianshan County. Wang Yao took a taxi back to the mountain village. When he arrived home, it was already evening. His parents had already had dinner. Seeing her son come back, Zhang Xiuying was surprised. "Yao, why didn't you tell me you were coming back? Have you eaten?" "No." "Then I'll cook right away. What do you want to eat?" "Anything, just some noodles will be fine." "Okay, wait a moment." Zhang Xiuying hurriedly prepared dinner for herself. Wang Yao poured a glass of water for himself and chatted with his father for a while. To be precise, he asked one question after another. "Did everything go well?" "It went well." "Has he been cured?" "No, he's very sick." "He needs a period of treatment," Wang Yao said. "Will you go out during this time?" "I won't be going out anytime soon." Recently, Wang Yao did go out a lot of times. He was a person who was attached to his family and didn't want to move around. Wang Fenghua nodded after listening. As parents, who didn't want their children to be by their side. Chapter 217. After a while, Wang Yao's mother came to the living room with a big bowl of noodles. "Come on, let's eat." "Thank you, Mom." It was a simple bowl of noodles, but Wang Yao thought it was very delicious. It was not inferior to the famous dishes. The big bowl of noodles was finished in a short time. "How was the treatment?" Zhang Xiuying sat down with a smile. "Not bad. It's effective." Wang Yao drank a mouthful of water. "Are you still going up the hill at night?" "Yes." Wang Yao chatted with his parents at home for a while and gave them a massage to relax their muscles and promote blood circulation. Around 8 p.m., Wang Yao went out and went up the hill. It was almost the end of May. The weather was a little hot. The villagers liked to eat and chat on the top of the hill. Wang Yao went south alone. He didn't know many people in the village. He didn't communicate with them on a daily basis, but he would greet those he knew. Most of these elderly people were his elders. "Are you going up the hill, Yao?" Wang Fengming asked. "Uncle Fengming, why are you still going up the hill at this time?" "I'm used to it." There were other people beside Wang Fengming. Wang Yao didn't say much, and he didn't ask much. Then, Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill alone. "Isn't that Wang Yao? Why is he going up the hill at this time?" There were many people in the village who knew Wang Yao. It could be said that almost everyone knew him because he jumped into the river to commit suicide, because he bought the best car in the village, and because some rich people came to the village to look for him. However, few people knew that he went up Nanshan Hill after dinner. People usually paid attention to the highlights or gossip of famous people. They rarely paid attention to the details. Maybe he's just taking a walk. It's so dark at this time. This kid is quite brave. I heard that he sometimes spends the night on Nanshan Hill. He's not afraid of ghosts. No one in the village would go up Nanshan Hill at night. Of course, except for the two weirdos who tried to cause trouble at night but fell into the ditch and almost became disabled. Wang Fengming, who knew the truth, just smiled and said nothing. That young man possesses a peerless ability. Is it something you can guess? A frog at the bottom of a well would never know how vast the sky is outside. After leaving the village, Wang Yao did not use his kung fu. Instead, he walked slowly towards Nanshan Hill. As he walked, he enjoyed the quiet moonlight. It was quieter and cooler in the mountains than in the village. The mountains stood there quietly. The tree rustled in the wind. When the dog on the mountain heard the sound of its owner's return, it jumped down from the mountain early and wagged its tail happily beside him. Sanxian, is there anything unusual on the mountain? Woof, woof. The dog barked twice. It's good that you're okay. A man and a dog went up the mountain. The goshawk standing on the tree flapped its wings and called out, "Hello, great hero." Wang Yao smiled and waved at Goshawk on the tree. The lights on the mountain lit up. Looking from afar, it was a dim yellow dot in the darkness. Under the light, Wang Yao sat in front of his desk and carefully recorded his thoughts and gains from this trip to Tsangzhou. He gained a lot from this trip to Tsangzhou, especially the conversation with Sanguzi. As the saying goes, listening to a wise man's words is better than reading for 10 years. Mr. Sang's lifetime of experience was a precious treasure. Wang Yao did not turn off the lights and go to bed until late at night. The next morning, just as the sky was turning bright, he got up. Climbing the mountain, conducting qi, and practicing boxing. Just like before. After going down the mountain, he carefully took care of the herbal field. Today, he decided not to go anywhere. He would stay on the mountain and have some peace. His friends did not know that he had returned to Lianshan County from Tsangzhou. No one called him. It was good to be alone on the mountain quietly. In the evening, he received an unexpected call. It was from Tong Wei. She was going to accept the company's arrangement to go to France for a month. After hearing the news, Wang Yao was in a daze. He did not know what to feel, but he did not speak for a long time. "Are you still listening to me? This is a rare opportunity. I think it would be a pity to give it up," Tong Wei said on the other end of the phone. "It's good that you like it," Wang Yao said. Since Tong Wei liked it, he would fully support her. Although she was going to a foreign country thousands of miles away, in today's society, it was very convenient to contact and communicate. Moreover, it was not difficult to go abroad. "It's a month. I'll be back soon." "Do you have to come back before you leave?" "Yes, I'll spend the Dragon Boat Festival at home." "That's good." After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao felt a sense of loss. He had an idea. He took out a Taoist scripture and read it softly until the feeling slowly disappeared. After putting down the Taoist scripture, he suddenly had a thought. "Don't tell me I've really become a hermit and live alone?" Once this thought came to mind, it was very difficult to get rid of it. At this time, in a high-end office building hundreds of miles away, a beautiful woman was looking outside. "Is it really okay to go out?" Actually, Tong Wei didn't have a strong desire to go out. She didn't have to go out. She valued her relationship with Wang Yao very much. However, she didn't know why, but she always felt that there was a barrier between them that she couldn't break through. They looked like lovers, but they were different from ordinary lovers. This time, she also wanted to test Wang Yao's attitude on this matter. She wanted to see how important she was to him. If he really valued her, he would not let her go abroad so easily. In the end, she was worried and happy. After hearing the news, Wang Yao's silence proved that he was surprised. It meant that he still had her in his heart. However, soon after, he said that he supported her. Was this true support or was there something else? For a moment, Tong Wei thought too much. In fact, Wang Yao really supported her and was really reluctant to let her go. The sky outside gradually darkened. Another day had passed. In Lianshan County, Wang Mingbao, Wei Hai, and a few others gathered together. Where did Dr. Wang go? When will he be back? Among these people, Wei Hai cared about Wang Yao the most. He had no choice. He was now a sick person and was waiting for Wang Yao to treat him. Especially now that he felt that his body was getting better and he seemed to see the possibility of curing his disease, he was more concerned about him. He went to Tsangzhou. He should be back soon. Yes, before he left, he asked me to get some medicinal herbs for him. Now that I have all the herbs, I will send them to him when he comes back, Li Maoshuang said. What has Brother Tian been busy with recently? Busy with business, Wang Mingbao said. The company is going to be listed. I saw him a few days ago. He has lost a lot of weight and looked very haggard. Sigh, what listing? How big is the business? It is so tiring. It is better to miss us, drink tea, chat, and be happy day after day, Wei Hai said. You have seen through it. Brother Tian's thinking is different from yours. If he is tired out, he will lose everything. Wei Hai took a sip of tea. He had really seen through it. That mouth of yours, don't always say bad things. In Lianshan County, in the office building of Jiahui Group, the light in the general manager's office was still on. Tian Yuantu was looking through the company's financial report alone. Ring. The phone on the table rang. He picked it up and saw that it was his wife. I will be back soon. Don't wait for me to have dinner. After another half an hour, he finished reading the document and picked up another one. Knock, knock, knock. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Come in. A gentlewoman pushed the door open and came in with a lunchbox in her hand. Jiahui, why are you here? Tian Yuantu hurriedly distributed the document in his hand and took the lunchbox from his wife. You haven't eaten yet, right? I ate a little, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. The food in the lunchbox is still warm. Hurry up and eat. Okay. Tian Yuantu ate the warm dinner made by his wife. Obviously, he was hungry. That's enough. There are so many things. Can you do it alone? Let the subordinates do it, Su Jiahui advised. I have to make the final check. This is related to the further development of the company, Tian Yuantu said. Su Jiahui didn't try to persuade her husband again. Instead, she stayed quietly and watched. After dinner, Tian Yuantu started to get busy again. His wife poured water for him from time to time and organized the documents like a secretary. Why don't you go back first? After working for a while, Tian Yuantu looked up at his wife. Her gentle eyes made him feel less tired. Let's go back together. Okay, that's all for today. Tian Yuantu smiled and closed the document. The moment he got up, he suddenly felt a little dizzy. His vision turned black. His body swayed unconsciously and he couldn't stand steadily. What's wrong? Su Jiahui hurried to support him. I'm fine. I just got up in a hurry. I feel a little dizzy. Tian Yuantu smiled and comforted his wife. You've been too tired recently. Have a good rest. Go to the hospital for a checkup tomorrow. Okay. He had always followed his wife's advice. It was quiet at night. In the cottage on Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao was reading a book. It was a book he had read many times, the Catalogue of Magic Herbs. It recorded hundreds of licorice roots, each with their own magical effects. Most of them were extinct in the world. What a pity! Wang Yao sighed. Some of the herbs in the book could cure Zhouwui's disease. However, the price was too high. It was so high that Wang Yao couldn't get enough exchange points for it in a short period of time. But the herbs are already unattainable. What about the decoction made with these licorice roots? Chapter 218. That night, Wang Yao had some very strange dreams. There were clouds, trees, licorice roots, san xian, and immortals. Yes, immortals. The next morning, when Wang Yao got up, he lay in bed and carefully recalled the strange dream he had last night. He was surprised to find that he only had a little impression of it. He couldn't remember the specific content at all. What a strange dream. Wang Yao had just finished practicing and came down from the top of the mountain. When he was busy with breakfast in the house, Li Maoshuang called. "Are you back?" "I'm back." "When? When are the medicinal herbs you asked me to get ready? When can I send them to you?" "I'll be at home today. Just send them directly to my house," Wang Yao said. "Okay. Call me when you arrive." At around 9 a.m., Wang Yao received a call from Li Maoshuang, saying that the car had arrived at the entrance of the village. He also came down from the top of the mountain. This time, Li Maoshuang drove a pickup truck. The back of the truck was filled with wild medicinal herbs. Wang Yao asked him to buy them before he went to Cangzhou. "Why did you buy so many herbs this time?" Li Maoshuang asked curiously. "To see if we can find a loophole," Wang Yao said with a smile. "What? Let's go inside and talk." Wang Yao's parents were not at home. The two of them moved all the herbs from the back of the truck and put them in the yard. "Auntie and uncle are not here?" "Yes, they should be busy on the mountain," Wang Yao said as he poured water for him. "You shouldn't be short of money, right? What are they busy with?" Although he didn't know how much money Wang Yao had, Li Maoshuang knew that he definitely wasn't short of money. He drove a car that cost nearly 1,000,000 yuan. How could he be short of money? They are used to it. If they don't go up the mountain, farm, and have nothing to do at home, they will feel uncomfortable, Wang Yao said. He could understand some of his parents' thoughts. Then hurry up and get married, have a few children, and let them be happy. Li Maoshuang lit a cigarette and smiled. "Why are you smoking again?" "You'll smoke when you're bored." A pot of green tea emitted a faint tea fragrance. "Don't go back at noon. Why don't you have lunch here?" Wang Yao said. "How can that be? It's too troublesome." Li Maoshuang waved his hand. He didn't want to trouble Wang Yao's parent. "It's no trouble at all. There's a new restaurant in the next village. Would you like to try it?" "Okay," Li Maoshuang said. "Just the two of us?" "Well, who else do you want to call?" "Should we call uncle and auntie?" Li Maoshuang asked. "They don't like that kind of occasion." Wang Yao took a sip of tea. "It's still early. Why don't you ask Wang Mingbao if they're free?" "Okay." As a result, less than 20 minutes after Li Maoshuang made the call, Wang Mingbao drove back to the mountain village with Wei Hai. "When did you come back? Why didn't you tell me?" "I just came back the day before yesterday." "How did it go? Did it go well?" "It went well." They gathered at Wang Yao's house and chatted for a while. At about 11 a.m., Wang Yao's parents came back. When they saw the house full of people, they were surprised. "Yao, why didn't you tell us that your friends were coming?" Zhang Xiuying asked. "Mom, we're not eating at home. We're going out to eat. Would you like to come with me and Dad?" Wang Yao said. "You go out to eat. We'll be fine at home." Zhang Xiuying hurriedly waved her hand. "Uncle, would you like to come with us?" Wang Mingbao asked. "No, you go ahead. I'll eat at home," Wang Fenghua said with a smile. "Then we'll go out to eat. Don't drink too much." "Okay." The group of people drove to a specialty restaurant in the neighboring village. The restaurant served wild dishes. There were many cars parked outside. "How are the dishes here?" Before entering the restaurant, Wang Yao asked Wang Mingbao. He was not familiar with these places. He only remembered that it was a big association not long ago. He didn't know when it had been changed into a restaurant. However, he thought Wang Mingbao was more familiar with it. "It was opened last month. It's quite clean. The taste is not bad," Wang Mingbao replied. "How about this one?" "Okay." They parked the car, got out, and entered the restaurant. They chose a private room and ordered a few specialties. The dishes were still being cooked in the kitchen. They chatted. "Hurry up and let President Wei have a look. He has been muttering a lot these days," Wang Mingbao said with a smile. "Ha ha." Wei Hai just smiled. Okay, let's have a look. Wei Hai quickly stretched out his arm. Wang Yao reached out to touch him. His body is recovering well. That's good. That's good. Wei Hai smiled. He had been waiting for this sentence. While they were talking, the dishes were served. They were some seasonal fresh vegetables. The taste is not bad. They ate a mouthful of the vegetables. I didn't expect there to be so many people in this valley. Li Maoshuang looked at the cars outside the window. Nowadays, people are more willing to go to the more remote places. That's true. South of the restaurant was a cement road. Further south was a river. South of the river was a mountain. The mountain was as big as a human head. The north side was quite steep. It was hundreds of meters high. It was almost a right angle. At the foot of the mountain was a forest of chestnut. It was quite luxuriant. Every year, chestnuts were ripe, from September to October. Many people came here to pick chestnut. The few of them didn't finish their meal very quickly. When they were about to finish the meal, the boss sent them a serving of fresh cherries. It was said that they had just been picked from the mountain. It tasted quite good. After the meal, Wang Yao invited them to sit on Nanshan Hill. Wei Hai was the first to agree. He had known Wang Yao for so long, but he had never been to Nanshan Hill. He had only heard Wang Mingbao and Li Maoshuang mention that Nanshan Hill was different. Okay, let's go. They went to the restaurant hall and saw a woman coaxing a child. The girl was only 5 or 6 years old. She was crying very hard. Mom, I have a stomachache. Bear with it. Mom will take you to the hospital right away. The woman was also very anxious. She was sweating. Her husband came from outside. He picked up the child and left. Wang Yao glanced at the child. Please wait a moment. What's wrong? The man holding the child asked. I'm a doctor. Can I see the child? Wang Yao was not a saint or a saint. He just felt that the child's face was a little strange. The color of her lips was not right. It was not a good sign. Sorry to trouble you. Wang Yao reached out to touch the child. His face changed. She must have eaten something allergic and needs to be vomited immediately. After that, he reached out and rubbed the child's abdomen a few times and pressed several points. The child directly vomited in front of the restaurant. She vomited all the food she had eaten at noon. It could be seen from the undigested food that she had eaten a lot of wild mushrooms. Although wild mushrooms were delicious, some people could eat them. Some people could not eat them. If they did not eat them well, they could be allergic. If it was serious, it could be life-threatening. Sometimes in the restaurant, for the sake of novelty, the mushrooms would be cooked directly out of the pot before the time was up. Let's take her to the hospital quickly. Thank you. Well, how did you do it? You just pressed a few times and rubbed, and she vomited? Wei Hai, who had seen what had just happened, asked curiously. Why? Do you want to try? Wang Yao asked with a smile. He had just pressed several special acupoints and meridians, which had the effect of vomiting. Forget it. Hey, we also ate wild mushrooms just now. Will we be poisoned? Could it be a problem with the ingredients? Our ingredients are definitely not a problem, Wang Yao said. At this time, the owner of the restaurant came out. He was a fat middle-aged man. Apparently, he had heard their conversation. He looked a little unhappy. Boss, I'm just joking. Don't mind it. Wei Hai smiled. Let's go. They left the restaurant, got in the car, and went to the mountain village. The car stopped at the south end of the village. Is that Nanshan Hill? Wei Hai got out of the car and looked at the mountain not far away. It could not even be considered a mountain. It could only be regarded as a mound. No, it's behind that mountain. The winding mountain road didn't seem very long, but when they started walking, they realized that it wasn't easy to walk. After going around the mountain, another mountain appeared in front of them. There were no fields on it, only trees. They could vaguely see a cottage. That's Nanshan Hill. Let's go. The mountain was not high. It was a little steep. It was a little tiring to walk. After walking for a while, they came to the cottage and saw the saplings that had grown into small trees. Hey! Wei Hai rubbed his eyes hard. Wang Yao led the way in front. He seemed to have just moved casually, and the trees seemed to have quieted down a lot. The sky was blue. A few white clouds were floating lazily in the sky. The cottage was not big. It was just right for the four of them to sit down. There was a pot of tea. The mountain breeze blew in through the window. It was very cool. Phew! After going up the mountain, Wei Hai felt a little exhausted. He directly lay on the chair, breathing heavily. It's really quiet here, Li Maoshuang praised. It's even better than some famous mountains. In fact, Nanshan Hill could not be compared with those famous mountains. The only thing that could be better than them was the spirit-gathering battle array that Wang Yao had set up here. The reason why those mountains were not so quiet was that many people went there, bringing noise and noise. When it was night time, it was still very quiet. The mountains and rivers are spiritual. It feels very comfortable here, Wei Hai said after drinking a sip of tea. This tea is good. The tea was from Nanshan Hill. The water was ancient spring water. Of course, it was excellent. I think you should build a hotel on this mountain, Wei Hai said. Build a hotel for what? Develop it into a resort? It's just a small piece of Nanshan Hill. There are a few hills next to it. What's there to see? Wang Yao said with a smile. I think it's good like this. Even if it could really attract people, Wang Yao would not do it. The mountain was like this, natural and quiet. Chapter 219. Have you recovered from your illness and started thinking about money again? Wang Mingbao asked with a smile. He knew what Wang Yao was thinking. He preferred peace and quiet. It was absolutely impossible for him to open a hotel on Nanshan Hill. This peace and quiet is priceless, Li Maoshuang said. Alright, I was just joking, Wei Hai quickly said. Alright, I was just joking. How long have you been on the hill? 20 years, Wang Yao said. That's too little, Wang Yao said. That's quite a lot, Wang Yao said with a smile. There was no poker, mahjong, coffee, wine, or music. The four of them actually stayed on the hill quietly for the whole afternoon. The sky outside gradually darkened. The sky was red and looked very beautiful. Hey, I really don't want to leave after staying here for so long, Li Maoshuang said with emotion. Then, don't leave, Wang Yao said with a smile. To be honest, 2 rooms are still a bit narrow. Can you expand it? Li Maoshuang said. Well, let me think about it. It was not easy to expand the room. The minimum requirement was to be able to integrate with the hill and the battle array. Let's go. We have to go down the hill sooner or later. Why don't you stay for dinner tonight? Wang Yao said. No, let's go home. They stayed on the hill for nearly 3 hours. When they went down the hill, they felt a lot more comfortable. When they came out of the spirit-gathering battle array set up by Wang Yao, they could immediately feel the obvious changes. The mountain wind was still blowing, but it was a bit hot. It was not as comfortable as before. Strange, why do I suddenly feel a lot hotter? Maybe it's because there are more trees on the hill. When I looked at those small trees just now, I felt very dizzy. It was as if they were shaking, Wei Hai said. I have the same feeling. As they talked, they looked at Wang Mingbao. After all, he and Wang Yao grew up together. You'll get used to it after a while, Wang Mingbao replied. When he first came up, he also felt dizzy. He asked Wang Yao about it, and Wang Yao said that the arrangement of the trees was arranged according to a certain pattern, which would produce a certain illusion effect. The more one stared at it, the worse it would be. The 3 of them talked as they went down the mountain. Then, they drove their cars and went about their own business. Wang Yao tidied up the hut and then went down the mountain. The medicinal herbs sent by Li Maoshuang were placed in the small courtyard. His parents hadn't returned yet. He looked at them carefully and then waved his hand. A portion of the herbs disappeared and were put into the grid. He repeated this process and soon, half of the herbs were gone. Hey, where are the medicinal herbs? Zhang Xiuying found something strange when she got home. I put it somewhere else. What about your friends? Aren't they going to stay for dinner? No, they have something to do tonight. Dinner became a family of 3 again. It was very heartwarming. After returning to Nanshan Hill at night, Wang Yao took out the herbs that he put into the grid and began to sell them through the system's medicine shop. The quality of the herbs was not bad. Wang Yao had checked them. However, a portion of the herbs could not be exchanged. After one night, he could only exchange dozens of points. Wang Yao had paid a price of hundreds of thousands for these herbs. They were not even comparable to the herbs that Wang Yao grew on the mountain. These herbs are not precious enough. In fact, Wang Yao could use another method, which was to sell a prolongation pill. He could immediately exchange it for enough points to purchase the everlasting grass and lingshanji, which were required to refine the muscle revitalization powder. However, it was not very cost-effective. There's still half left. It should be barely enough. A large cart of wild herbs could not be exchanged for a licorice root. Wang Yao was reading a Taoist scripture under the light. In an office building in Lianshan County, a middle-aged man was also reading a book. Why don't you take a break? In the office, there was also a gentlewoman. She looked at her husband with concern and worry in her eyes. Soon, I'll be done soon. It had been 1 month in a row that Tian Yuantu had stayed in the company until 10 o'clock at night. In fact, with such a big company, he did not need to work so hard. He could have just let his subordinates do it. He had already thought about it. After the company passed this hurdle, he would let go and enjoy life with his family. I'll hold on for a while longer. The money he had now was enough for him to squander. How much money was enough? Were Li Jiaqing and Bill Gates really happier than ordinary people? Not necessarily. They also had things to worry about. It was just that they came into contact with a higher level and had a richer material life. Sometimes, people had to be open-minded. Tian Yuantu suddenly felt dizzy. He gently rubbed his eyes and massaged himself. After feeling much better, he closed the book in his hand. Let's go home. When he got up, he held the table for support. This is strange. Why do I feel so weak? A feeling of panic suddenly arose. What's wrong? Do you feel uncomfortable again? Go to the hospital for a checkup tomorrow. I should be fine. Don't be stubborn anymore. Go to the hospital tomorrow. Yes, my wife. The couple went downstairs together and drove home, just like how they had accompanied each other for decades. It was late at night and the mountain wind was much weaker. Wang Yao put away the Taoist scripture. The lights went out and the mountain was dark. It should be almost done by tomorrow. The beautiful scenery can't be changed by the weather. Whose yard is it to enjoy? Who is singing? Where did the garden full of apricot flowers come from? Fluttering like snow. In the sea of flowers, a woman in white was dancing. The flowing clouds and flowing sleeves were indescribably graceful. Where is this? The broken bridge is covered in snow. The railings are all over the place. I've waited for a lifetime. Do you still remember? The fairy-like woman in white turned around. When Wang Yao woke up, it was already bright outside. What a strange dream. He had a dream again. In the dream, there seemed to be a snow-like sea of flowers. This was very abnormal for him. Since his constitution was better than ordinary people and he started to practice the Taoist scripture, he had almost never dreamed. He didn't know what had happened to him in the past 2 days. Today was better. He could vaguely remember the content of the dream last night. He couldn't even remember what the dream was about yesterday. What you think in the day you dream at night. However, Wang Yao didn't think about anything during the day. Why did he have such strange dreams at night? After washing up, He went back to Nanshan Hill and started a day of practice and life. It had nothing to do with dreams. Question: if you have a lot of things at home, you can use a shocking method to transfer them away in an instant. How can you do it without alerting your family? Answer: wait until they are not at home. This was the problem that Wang Yao was now facing. His parents were at home. He couldn't transfer the pile of wild herbs in the yard effectively in a very short time. He could only wait until his parents were not at home. Then I'll wait. In the afternoon, while his parents were out, he put the herbs into the grid of the system and went up to Nanshan Hill. After selling all the herbs, he had enough exchange points to exchange for the 2 herbs needed to decoct the muscle revitalization powder. However, once he exchanged, all his savings would be used up and he wouldn't have much left. Sigh. Wang Yao sighed softly. In the end, he chose to exchange. Everlasting grass calms the 5 viscera and replenishes the loss. The leaves were like kaffir lily, but thicker. The leaves were green and hard. Lingshanji dispels evil and dispels evil spirits, produces muscle and relieves pain. This was the rhizome of the plant. It was shaped like an egg and had irregular ring-shaped lines on the outside. There was also guiyuan. Wang Yao had exchanged for it before. He still had some left. It was enough to decoct a decoction. The rest were some herbs. He had already prepared them through Li Maoshuang. The herbs were all ready. He should be able to decoct the decoction. Wang Yao looked out through the window. The sun was setting in the west. After the sun set, Yin flourished and Yang declined. Looks like I have to wait until tomorrow. Wait. How long do we have to wait? In Jing City, thousands of miles away, a woman was arguing with her husband. Xiaoxue is still lying in bed. Her condition may worsen at any time. Why are you doing nothing? The more the woman spoke, the more agitated she became. Her body was trembling slightly. What do you think we should do? Ask that Dr. Wang to come here. Ask him? You are so arrogant. The middle-aged man slammed the wooden armrest of the chair. Who do you think you are? What is our Su family? You are forcing us to submit. Do you want to save your daughter or return her? The middle-aged man sat there. He was imposing without being angry. His body exuded a unique aura. You are just as capable as me. If you have the ability, save your daughter. The woman's words made her husband speechless. Yes, he had a lot of power in his hands. His family had a lot of power. His 2 sons seemed to be doing well. He seemed to be in a good position and was respected by others. However, his daughter, his most beloved daughter, had been lying in bed for several years. There was nothing he could do. I will go and find Dad. I will ask Boyuan to invite him again. Sometimes there were things that even the person in charge with great power could do nothing about. The weather would not be good the next day. Wang Yao sat outside the cottage and looked at the sky. Clouds vaguely covered the crescent moon in the sky. This was not the first time Wang Yao looked at the sky. These days, by observing the astronomical phenomena at night, plus some things in the Taoist scripture, he had been able to judge some things through the changes in the starry sky. At least he could see the changes in the weather. As for more mysterious things, he could not detect them for the time being. The next day, the sky was gloomy as expected. It seemed that standing on the top of the mountain could touch the dark clouds. Is it going to rain? After Wang Yao finished practicing, he began to wander around Nanshan Hill. After a while, he picked up some firewood. Chapter 220. After experiencing spring, summer, autumn, and winter, the alternation of withering and flourishing, the firewood was the end of life, but also the beginning of another form of life. Today, the firewood had to play a different role, which was to start a fire. Wang Yao used firewood to brew the decoction on the mountain, instead of electricity or natural gas commonly used in clinics and hospitals. This was a kind of respect and inheritance for the tradition, and also a kind of guarantee for the effect of the decoction. Wang Yao spent the whole morning searching the nearby mountains and collected a lot of firewood. He piled it behind the cottage. Looking at the weather, it probably won't get better. Wang Yao looked up at the sky. It was still gloomy and it was not raining. Only the wind blowing on his body was a little cold. At noon, he did not go home for lunch. He just had a meal on the mountain. He had a Taoist scripture in hand and read it. He took a break. After putting away the Taoist scripture, he lay on the bed, closed his eyes, and began to take a nap. Buzz. As soon as he lay down, the phone on the bed rang. He picked it up and saw that it was a call from Tian Yuantu. He had not seen this busy man for a while. He heard from Wang Mingbao that Tian Yuantu had been busy with the company recently and did not even attend the usual gatherings. Tian Yuantu, have you been busy recently? Wang Yao answered the phone with a smile. It's me, Dr. Wang. He did not expect to hear a woman's gentle voice on the other end of the phone. Sister-in-law, what's the matter? Wang Yao was stunned. He immediately knew that it was Su Jiahui. Yuantu is not feeling well. He is very dizzy. He went to the hospital and did not find anything wrong. He wants you to take a look. Okay. Are you free in the afternoon? Yes. We'll go to see you in the afternoon. Okay. Wang Yao originally wanted to make a house call, but he did not expect that Su Jiahui had spoken first. He did not say anything more. He took a nap on the bed and was awakened by the sound of dogs barking. Someone had gone up the mountain. It was a couple, Tian Yuantu and Su Jiahui. Tian Yuantu's complexion was not very good. It was an unhealthy sallow color, and he looked very tired. His eyes were dim, and his wife beside him was full of worry. Come in and take a seat. Wang Yao invited the two of them into the house and made them a cup of tea. Take a rest first, then I'll take a look at you. Tian Yuantu was already out of breath on the way up the mountain. This had never happened before. A cup of green tea was filled with the fragrance of flowers and bird. Are you tired these days? Wang Yao asked softly after checking Tian Yuantu's pulse. Yes, I'm busy with the company's affairs. I work overtime almost every day. Do you still need to work so hard when your business has reached such a level? In fact, the cause of Tian Yuantu's illness was very simple. He was overtired, and his cervical vertebra was damaged. Therefore, he would feel dizzy. A simple massage therapy could be effective to solve the problem. More importantly, he had to have a good rest and pay attention to not be overtired. When people reached middle age, they had to pay special attention to their health. Some diseases often began to appear in their 40s. If they did not pay attention and treat them at this time, these diseases that you usually did not care about at all might develop uncontrollably and become chronic diseases, making you regret it for the next few decades. I'm going to retire after this period of work, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. Wang Yao also smiled after hearing that. He would not take it seriously. Many people had said similar things. This is the last time, I swear. I will start working hard from tomorrow. It will definitely not happen next time. Like this. No one would complain about having too much money. It all depended on whether you could be open-minded. How is it? It's not a big problem. You just need to pay attention to rest, Wang Yao said. Sit up straight. I'll give you a massage. Wang Yao gave Tian Yuantu a massage, mainly on his neck and back. It's so comfortable. In just a few minutes, Tian Yuantu felt that his body suddenly felt a lot more comfortable. His neck was not so stiff and uncomfortable. Even the dizziness felt a lot better. You've worked for too long and injured your neck. When did you learn this massage technique? Tian Yuantu asked curiously. Tuina massage is one of the most basic medical skills, Wang Yao said. After massaging his acupoints, Wang Yao stopped. Tian Yuantu and Su Jiahui were not in a hurry to leave. Instead, they drank tea in the cottage and chatted with Wang Yao. To be honest, I haven't been so relaxed in a while, Tian Yuantu said. He had been very tense during this period. He had to manage too many things. However, the more he managed, the more things he had to manage. It was as if he had entered a special cycle. Don't you still have the vice presidents of the various branches? Can't you just leave it to them? Wang Yao said. There are still some things that I'm worried about. Some bosses were like this. They held on too tightly and were unwilling to boldly delegate power to their subordinate. It was not good to manage the company like this. Li Jiaqing managed Chongjiang Industries. He would not even ask about the type of house they were building and how many floors they were building, right? You weren't like this before, Su Jiahui said softly. Yes. Tian Yuantu just responded. Obviously, he had something on his mind. Thank you. I feel much better. This was what Tian Yuantu said to Wang Yao before he left. It's okay. Have a good rest these 2 days? This was Wang Yao's suggestion. The Tian Yuantu in front of him was somewhat different from the person he used to know. In the past, Tian Yuantu was far from being such a business fanatic. He was a good man who put his family first. His business always came second. What's wrong, Yuantu? Are there some things that you don't even tell me? Su Jiahui asked softly when they went down the hill. There's a problem in the company. Tian Yuantu was silent for a moment and stopped. A problem? What problem? Su Jiahui asked hurriedly. Capital. Capital? How is that possible? Su Jiahui was surprised. She was very clear about her husband's company. In fact, the development of this huge group could not have been without her support and help. However, as her husband's business grew, she gradually moved behind the scenes and began to take care of her husband and children at home. Some time ago, the group spent a lot of money to buy a large piece of land in Dao City and was ready to develop it. However, there seemed to be some problems with the procedures and was temporarily suspended by the local government. Dao City? Su Jiahui was very clear about how much the housing prices in Dao City had soared recently. Is that why you want to go public? Kind of. In fact, it's also a risky move, Tian Yuantu said. What did the bank say? There's no problem there for the time being, but the company invested hundreds of millions of yuan in that piece of land. In China, it was very tiring to do the real economy. It was very tiring for a year, and had to face various environmental and tax inspections and audit. In the end, not much money was earned. Instead, a lot of money was lost. Therefore, many entrepreneurs were unwilling to do the real economy. However, real estate was different. It was definitely a profiteering industry, but it also had high risk. Once the capital chain was broken, there would be an avalanche of danger. Why didn't I hear about such a big investment from you? Su Jiahui was surprised. Usually, Tian Yuantu would discuss with his wife whenever there was a slightly bigger investment. Although Su Jiahui was a gentlewoman, she had amazing intuition and judgment in investment and financial management. I was also bewitched, Tian Yuantu said. In fact, he had been fooled. Is there any other way? I'll go to Dao City tomorrow to see how the situation there is and whether there will be any changes, Tian Yuantu said. If the local government relents now, even if we sell that piece of land, we can still make a profit. I'll go with you, Wang Yao said. It's already like this. What else do you want? Wang Yao stood on the hill and looked at the couple who accompanied him down the hill. A gentle wife, a harmonious family, and a foundation. In the eyes of most people, these were things to be envied. What else was there to pursue? Some people's pain came from unrealistic pursuits and ideals. Just like Wang Yao now, he wanted to live a carefree life. He wanted to grow herbs on the hill and go to see a doctor at the foot of the hill. Then, he wanted to marry a gentle wife and live a peaceful life. In the future, He wanted to write a book and develop and pass on some of the things he had learned. It sounded like he was groaning for no reason. Some people said that one's life should be vigorous and achieve something. However, most people on this planet still lived an ordinary life. If one wanted to live a vigorous life, who would do those ordinary things? The sky was still gloomy, but it refused to rain. After preparing all the herbs needed to decoct the muscle revitalization powder, Wang Yao went down the hill. As soon as Wang Yao entered the house, he heard his mother's voice. "Those people deserve to die." "What happened? Who made you so angry?" "Someone came to our village to steal a child today." "What?" Wang Yao was stunned. "Whose child was stolen?" "They didn't steal it. Fortunately, they found out early," Zhang Xiuying said. "That's good." Wang Yao was relieved. "Did the surveillance camera in the village capture it?" "Yes, but I didn't see the person clearly." "I've already called the police," Zhang Xiuying said. "A child went missing in Lijia village in Lower Groove yesterday. I don't know if he has been found." Wang Yao was silent for a moment. Then, he turned and went into the house to get a glass of water. These things had nothing to do with medical skills. He wanted to do it, but he was powerless. This was just an episode. Life still had to go on. After dinner, Wang Yao gave his father a massage. A missing person notice appeared on the television. It was a 3-year-old boy who looked very cute. This child was most likely not found. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.